Chapter 278. Who will fight? Strong, too strong. This beauty is too strong. Yen Hong, who is a level 5 profound beast ancestor, was actually unable to withstand 3 of her finger attacks. When did such a terrifying character appear on the first floor of the Tower of Slaughter? After witnessing Yu Nikhang killing Yen Hong with just 3 fingers, almost everyone present was stunned. In an instant, she became the absolute focus of discussion, and her glory overshadowed everyone else. The power of the Tao pattern. Nichong's demonic art is the Tao formula. When Yu Nikhang circulated the Heaven Dance Devil art with all her might, Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul spirit detected the power of the Tao pattern. He revealed an astonished expression as he was shocked by Yu Nichong's identity. After witnessing Yu Nichong's terrifying battle prowess, Yi Chunfeng was no longer worried about her. Just as Yi Chunfeng was waiting for an opportunity to step onto the stage, his sharp senses detected that the mysterious soul that had spied on him twice had appeared again. That aura. That person has appeared again. Just who is it that has been secretly spying on me? Yi Chunfeng frowned slightly. He quickly scanned the surroundings with the corner of his eyes, but did not discover anyone suspicious. Looks like there's going to be trouble again today, Yi Chunfeng mumbled. However, he wasn't worried about the danger. Before his identity was exposed, the Slaughter City wouldn't dare to harm him. Who wants to fight? At this moment, a middle-aged man at the 4th level of the Mystic Beast Ancestor realm, who held a 9-foot 9-inch long spear and wore a dark blue robe, had long black hair fluttering in the wind and a thick black beard. He defeated his opponent with a single strike of his spear and provoked loudly. "Let me!" Yi Chunfeng's body moved slightly, bringing with it a swift and fierce aura as he appeared in the arena. A 2nd-level Mystic Beast sect? The blue-robed man was stunned when he sensed Yi Chunfeng's strength, and then he revealed a disdainful expression. As far as he was concerned, Yi Chunfeng, who was a level 2 Dark Beast ancestor coming to challenge him, was no different than courting death. "Kid, you dare challenge me with your strength? I can't help but admire your courage. However, I will not show you any mercy. I will let you know that trying to be brave will cost you your life," the blue-robed man said disdainfully as he pointed his spear at Yi Chunfeng. "Are you done? If you're done, let's begin." Yi Chunfeng looked at the blue-robed man with a sharp gaze. There was no change in his expression. "You're courting death." The blue-robed man's face darkened. A single-horned rhinoceros emerged from his body. A terrifying amount of soul power erupted from his body and surged into the spear in his hand. Chi! The blue-robed man's entire arm fused with the spear. A sharp spear light tore through the air and pierced towards Yi Chunfeng at a speed faster than the speed of light. As the blue-robed man pierced his spear, Yi Chunfeng didn't do anything. He watched as the spear light got closer and closer. Seeing that Yi Chunfeng's throat was about to be pierced by the blue-robed man, he suddenly extended his index finger and tapped on the spear tip that was surrounded by soul power. A strength of more than 700,000 kilograms exploded. The powerful finger light not only resisted the might of the blue-robed man's spear, but it also bent the tough spear shaft. What? Seeing this shocking scene, the blue-robed man's heart was in turmoil. His eyes were wide open as if he had seen a ghost. He couldn't believe what was happening in front of him. The blue-robed man wasn't the only one who was stunned. All the spectators were also stunned. They looked at Yi Chunfeng as if they were looking at a monster. The 100 Victories emblem. He has the 100 Victories emblem on his shoulder. The sharp-eyed spectators saw the 100 Victories emblem on Yi Chunfeng's shoulder and cried out in surprise. Those who could obtain the 100 Victories emblem in the Massacre Outer City were all geniuses among geniuses. At this moment, no one dared to look down on Yi Chunfeng. They looked at the blue-robed man with sympathy. After blocking the blue-robed man's spear with one finger, Yi Chunfeng's body moved slightly. In an instant, He transformed into 3 fast afterimages and disappeared in front of the blue-robed man's eyes. In the next moment, the blue-robed man felt danger behind him. He instinctively wanted to dodge. But at this moment, a terrifying force crashed into his back like a meteorite. It shattered his spine and sent him flying. A large amount of blood spurted out from his mouth, leaving behind a bloody mist in the air. He fell out of the arena and fainted. Yi Chunfeng easily defeated the blue-robed man and obtained his first victory. Yu Nikhang also obtained her second victory with an absolute advantage. Who wants to fight? Yi Chunfeng stood tall and straight in the middle of the arena with his hands behind his back. He said in a proud and aloof manner. Yi Chunfeng's performance was too powerful. It had given everyone a great shock. So, no one dared to challenge him for a while. "I'll do it." After waiting for half an incense stick's time, a thin and small old man wearing a black robe jumped onto the arena. His body was exuding a strange aura. He had dark green iron claws. "Kid, your strength is not bad. But your good luck ends here." The skinny old man opened his mouth and revealed a mouthful of disgusting yellow teeth. Then, the skinny old man sped up and approached Yi Chunfeng at an extremely fast speed. When he was 3 meters away from Yi Chunfeng, a cloud of black powder spurted out from his sleeve and shrouded Yi Chunfeng. "Poison!" Yi Chunfeng frowned as the black powder flew towards him. Then, the green spirit fire gushed out of his body and turned him into a flaming man. Then, it burned away the poisonous powder. Spirit fire. You actually subdued a spirit fire. Spirit fire was the nemesis of poison. Seeing the green spirit fire gushing out of Yi Chunfeng's body, the skinny old man's face changed. Just as he was about to open his mouth and admit defeat, Yi Chunfeng, whose body was burning with the green spirit fire, suddenly took a step forward. The cloud-crushing palm shot out, carrying an astonishing force of 700,000 jin, and bombarded the skinny old man. 5 Poison Claw. When the cloud-crushing palm arrived, the skinny old man immediately felt suffocated. A brightly colored poisonous snake had entered his body. He used all his strength to meet the attack. "Gotcha!" A crisp cracking sound rang out as the iron claw on the skinny old man's arm was unable to withstand the attack of the collapsing cloud palm and broke into pieces. The powerful collapsing cloud palm light fiercely bombarded his chest and sent him flying. Pung! The skinny old man's body exploded in midair. Blood and broken limbs scattered all over the ground. The terrifying scene made people shudder. Who wants to fight? After absorbing the death chi emitted from the skinny old man's body and taking away his belongings, Yi Chunfeng stood on the martial stage that was filled with the smell of blood and said domineeringly, "Wu He, this demonic frenzy pill is for you. Go and finish him." In the crowd, a gray-robed old man from the Wu clan looked at Yi Chunfeng with a hazy gaze. He said to a young level 5 mystic beast ancestor beside him who had a slightly pale complexion and was wearing silver armor. He also gave the young man a black pill. "Don't worry, 10th elder. I will definitely cut him down with my blade." The silver-armored man swallowed the demonic frenzy pill that the gray-robed old man gave him. He took a deep breath and jumped onto the martial stage with a dragon head blade that weighed over 10,000 jin in his hand. "It's the Wu clan's genius, Wu He. I didn't think that he would actually come onto the stage to compete. Didn't he say that he wouldn't come onto the stage if he didn't have the strength to reach the 5th floor of the slaughter tower? This competition is going to be interesting. I wonder who is stronger between the two of them. Sure enough, the Wu clan's people will come to stop me and test my strength." Hearing the discussions of the crowd, Yi Chunfeng revealed a trace of a cold smile. He suddenly patted his Qianquan bag and took out the Corpse King hammer that weighed over 160,000 jin. Boom! When the Corpse King hammer fell to the ground, it immediately caused a huge vibration, causing cracks to appear on the hard martial stage. Such a shocking scene caused the noisy stands to become silent. Mobile reading site, book address, For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Collect button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 279. No one dared to fight. What great strength! Wu He was also a dual cultivator of soul and body, but when he saw the Corpse King hammer in Yi Qinfeng's hand, there was a slight change in his expression. He had a feeling that the power he was so proud of was far inferior to Yi Qinfeng's. This battle was very dangerous. However, Wu He did not back down. With a roar, the demonic frenzy pellet in his body released a violent energy that poured into his body, greatly increasing his strength. In an instant, Wu He used the demonic frenzy pellet to increase his strength to the next level, reaching the 6th level of the Mystic Beast Grandmaster realm. A golden crane appeared on his body and cried toward the sky. Is there any use in increasing your strength? Yi Qinfeng, who had absolute strength, revealed a cold smile. His entire body erupted with 700,000 jin of strength. Holding the 160,000 jin Corpse King hammer, he attacked Wu He. 1000 Catty Slash. Yi Qinfeng attacked with all his strength. Wu He, who had fallen into a demonic state, roared, and the golden crane fused into his body. Holding the dragon head saber with both hands, his entire body erupted with astonishing strength as he chopped forward with the momentum to split a mountain. Boom! When Wu He's full-strength saber chopped down on the Corpse King hammer, a deafening explosion rang out. Large amounts of sparks flew into the air like stars filling the sky. How did he cultivate? How can his physical strength be so terrifying? Facing Yi Qinfeng's attack head-on, Wu He immediately felt his arm go numb, directly interrupting his attack rhythm. Yi Qinfeng's attack did not slow down. He pushed his physical strength to the limit. Wielding the heavy Corpse King hammer, he danced with a large number of hammer shadows, fiercely attacking. The Corpse King hammer, like a mountain crushing down, completely restrained Wu He, forcing him to retreat repeatedly. The blood and qi in his body churned violently. What frightening physical strength! This Yi Qinfeng's physical strength has almost reached the level of the Reverse Beast King. The Grand Elder of Slaughter City, Xue Koluo, who was hiding in the shadows, could not help but be shocked when he saw Yi Qinfeng suppress Yi Qinfeng with pure physical strength. Yes, that Yi Qinfeng's physical strength has probably reached 700,000 kilograms. In addition to that heavy hammer that weighs more than 100,000 kilograms, the destructive power generated is enough to crush a level 6 Mystic Beast ancestor. If that Wu He didn't consume a frenzy demon pill, I reckon that he would have already lost. The figure completely covered in a black robe nodded and said, Shadow, you once trained on the Xingluo continent, so you know a bit about Xingluo Sky City. Do you know if Xingluo Sky City has such a terrifying body-refining technique? Xue Koluo asked. Xingluo Sky City's heritage is too deep. There must be a body-refining inheritance, the shadow said without any doubt. In that case, this Yi Qinfeng might really be from Xingluo Sky City? Xue Koluo said with a frown. It's too early to make a conclusion. Let's keep watching. If he really is from Xingluo Sky City, then we can use the agreement from back then to send someone to Xingluo Sky City to negotiate, the shadow said. That's the only way. I hope he won't ruin His Majesty's plan. Xue Koluo said helplessly. Vitality ignition. Wu He, whose attacks were completely suppressed by Yi Qinfeng and whose body was covered in cracks and covered in blood, roared. He burned his vitality ignition at all costs in a final struggle. 100 Shadow Blade. Wu He, whose strength had soared to the limit and whose body was emitting a violent energy, roared. He leaped into the air and slashed out 100 overlapping blade shadows, slashing at Yi Qinfeng. Yi Qinfeng did not dodge Wu He's 100 Shadow Blade. 2 killing halos appeared behind him, instantly doubling his attack power. He held the Corpse King hammer in his hand and met the attack head-on. Boom! A thunderous sound burst out, and a terrible rebounding force spread out in all directions like a tide. Hundreds of blade shadows resisted for 3 breaths of time, but they couldn't withstand the attack of the zombie king hammer, which had doubled the attack power, and shattered one after another. Pfft! Wu-He, who bore the brunt of the shockwave, was severely injured. Blood spurted out of his mouth, and he fell to the ground like a kite with a broken string. He had almost lost his ability to fight. Killing halos. Could he be cultivating the 8 Sha Azura art that Xingluo Sky City has never taught to outsiders? Seeing the 2 killing halos behind Yi Chunfeng, Shui Kuluo and the shadow looked at each other and saw the shock in each other's eyes. Through the 8 Sha Azura art, the 2 of them were basically sure that Yi Chunfeng came from Xingluo Sky City. Moreover, his status in Xingluo Sky City was definitely not low. Otherwise, he would not be qualified to cultivate the 8 Sha Azura art. Tell me who is targeting me. If you don't, I will kill you. Yi Chunfeng held the corpse king hammer and pressed it against Wu-He's head, which was bleeding profusely, and ordered without any room for resistance. Kid, how dare you? If you dare to hurt Wu-He, my Wu family will make sure that you will not have a corpse left. Although Wu-He was not the top genius of the Wu family, his growth was still limitless. Seeing that his life was in danger, the gray-robed elder was enraged and warned loudly. My patience is limited. If you don't tell me, I will send you to hell. Yi Chunfeng ignored the gray-robed elder's warning and said with a murderous intent, I don't know. Looking into Yi Chunfeng's eyes, Wu-He's heart trembled, and he said timidly, If you don't know, then you can go to hell. Yi Chunfeng never showed mercy to his enemies. Since the Wu family was targeting him, he would not leave a potential threat for himself. Pung! Wu-He's head was smashed by Yi Chunfeng's hammer. Blood and brain matter splattered all over the ground, and it was a ghastly sight. Little bastard, my Wu family and you are irreconcilable enemies. The gray-robed elder looked at Wu-He's corpse and roared in anger. What? You want to avenge him? Then I challenge you. Do you dare to accept? Yi Chunfeng looked at the gray-robed elder with bloodshot eyes and pointed the corpse king hammer at him, provoking him. Looking at Yi Chunfeng's provocative attitude, the gray-robed elder's angry roar was stuck in his throat and his whole face turned red. Although his strength was far superior to Wu-He, and he had reached the 6th grade of the Mystic Beast Ancestor realm, he had a feeling that Yi Chunfeng's strength was far superior to his. If he went up now, it would be no different from courting death. Why are you mute? Didn't you just say that you want to avenge him? I'm giving you a chance now. Why are you afraid? Looking at the gray-robed elder, who did not dare to accept the challenge, Yi Chunfeng mocked. Trash, the Wu family is really trash. My Slaughter City's face has been completely lost by them. Looking at the gray-robed elder, who was frightened by Yi Chunfeng's invincible aura and turned into a coward, Shui Kuluo was so angry that his face turned ashen. He wanted nothing more than to personally kill him. Wu family, listen up. I challenge you all now. Who dares to accept? Yi Chunfeng said domineeringly. His words were like cannonballs, exploding in everyone's ears. Although the Wu family was so angry that they almost vomited blood and looked at Yi Chunfeng with eyes full of anger, they did not dare to accept the challenge after seeing Wu-He's fate. They could only grit their teeth and swallow their anger. Yi Chunfeng, don't be so arrogant. My Wu family's geniuses are all in the upper levels of the Slaughter Tower. According to the rules of the Slaughter Tower, they cannot do anything to you. Otherwise, if one of them came down, they would kill you like a chicken. A Wu family disciple was so angry that he shouted loudly. Don't worry, I will climb the tower one level at a time and challenge all of your Wu family's geniuses. I hope they will not disappoint me. Yi Chunfeng revealed an unruly smile. His unstoppable attitude made the Wu family's experts tremble inexplicably. Mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 280. I don't know what you are talking about, Trash. Who told you to provoke him? The gray-robed elder's heart trembled when he heard Jing Zheng's words. He angrily transmitted a message, wanting to strangle the Wu disciple who'd provoked Yi Chunfeng. He had a feeling that Yi Chunfeng could really bring disaster to the genius that House Wu had spent so much effort to raise. The Wu disciple who'd just provoked Yi Chunfeng looked aggrieved when he saw the gray-robed elder's ferocious expression. He didn't know how to explain himself. Sigh, is House Wu really only good at talking? How disappointing. Yi Chunfeng sighed softly and mocked as he looked at the Wu clan experts who did not dare to voice their anger. Yi Chunfeng, you really are arrogant. Do you dare accept Ai's challenge? Just as House Wu was so embarrassed that they wanted to dig a hole and hide in it, a domineering voice echoed in Yi Chunfeng's ears. Two old men in black robes appeared. Their eyes were ferocious, and their aura was oppressive as they walked. They were first-level defiant beast kings. Peerless kings. Yi Chunfeng's pupils shrank to the size of pinholes when he sensed the fierce aura from the two old men. He hadn't expected to be challenged by two peerless kings on the first level of the Slaughter Pagoda. He vaguely guessed their identities. They're from House Xiao. They're finally here. Let's hope they can kill that kid. That way, they'll be able to help us eliminate the threat. Xue Kuluo smiled coldly when he saw the two old men in black robes. If that kid really is from Xingluo Sky City, and is a genius that they've specially nurtured, House Xiaohou will at most punish him. They won't take his life. Otherwise, House Xiaohou will be destroyed. But his identity will be revealed soon, Shadow said in a low voice. Why wouldn't I dare? Yi Chunfeng looked at the two peerless kings of House Xiaohou with sharp eyes and said fearlessly. At this moment, Yu Nikhang, who'd used the dance of the heavenly demon and won her fifth match with an absolute advantage, looked over with worry in her eyes. Arrogant as expected. Among them, a black-robed old man with a cold body, eyes like cold stars, curved eyebrows like swords, and white hair on his temples condensed a pair of light red soul wings. He directly flew in front of Yi Chunfeng, stirring up gusts of wind. Soul wings. A defiant beast king. That arrogant kid is finally going to pay the price for his arrogance. Yeah, it's rare to see a defiant beast king on the first level. That kid is going to be in big trouble. The defiant beast king. And Yi Chunfeng Xue Nikhang 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 Nichang Zes Ti Nichangs S Nikhang Nikhang was Nikhang 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 Nika Nikhang. In their opinion, no matter how strong Yi Chunfeng was, he was only an expert of the Mystic Beast sect. The difference in strength between the Mystic Beast sect and the Defiant Beast King was like heaven and earth. Yi Chunfeng, your retribution has come. We can't deal with you, but someone else can. Just wait to be tortured to death. The old man in gray robes, who'd just been humiliated, showed a smug smile. He could already imagine Yi Chunfeng's tragic end. You're from House Xiaohou. Yi Chunfeng put the Corpse King hammer into his spatial pouch and put his hands behind his back. He looked at the old man in black robes and said in a calm voice, That's right. You dared to kill a genius of House Xiaohou. I'm here to avenge Shui Yi. The old man in black robe's eyes emitted a scarlet light. Since I dared to kill him, I'm naturally not afraid of House Xiaohou's revenge. Yi Chunfeng showed an arrogant smile. His aura erupted like a volcano. He was like an unsheathed sword, incomparably sharp. Roar! A heart-trembling dragon roar resounded. A 3,000-meter-long two-headed blood dragon king emerged from Yi Chunfeng's body and hovered above his head. The dragon's aura emitted by the word king frightened the audience. Some people were so scared that their faces turned pale, and they collapsed to the ground. Two-headed blood dragon. This kid actually has such a terrifying spiritual beast. Seeing Yi Chunfeng's spiritual beast, the old man in black robe's face changed slightly, revealing a look of surprise. "Come at me if you want to avenge him." After fusing with the power of the two-headed Blood Dragon King, Yi Chunfeng instantly reached the peak of level 6 Mystic Beast Ancestor. He took out the gigantic Fault Heavenly Sword, a mid-grade celestial artifact, and pointed the tip of the sword at the black-robed old man. "You're courting death." The old man in black robes didn't expect Yi Chunfeng to be so arrogant that he dared to point the sword tip at him. He was completely enraged. A long spear emitting silver light flew out of his spatial ring. It was like a cold star, piercing towards Yi Chunfeng's heart. When the old man in black robes thrust his spear, Yi Chunfeng immediately activated the 81 offensive formation patterns in the Heavenly Sword. He unleashed a perfect sword aura and 300,000 kilograms of force to meet the attack. 8 Slaughtering Azura Art, double attack amplitude. The moment the two divine weapons collided, 2 killing halos appeared behind Yi Chunfeng, instantly increasing his attack power by 2-fold. The terrifying power caused dense ripples to appear in the air. Bang! An ear-piercing collision sound resounded, and countless sparks surged in the air. Dang dang! Yi Chunfeng's body trembled as he faced the old man's attack head-on. He retreated uncontrollably, and the chi and blood in his body rolled violently. "Killing halos, how do you know the 8 Slaughtering Azura Art? Who are you?" As an elder of the Xiahou family, the old man in black robes was very familiar with the top soul skills in Xingluo Sky City. When he saw the 2 killing halos condensing behind Yi Chunfeng, his expression changed drastically, and he let out a cry of disbelief. 4 Slaughtering Styles, Star Slashing. While the old man in black robes was still in shock, Yi Chunfeng quickly brandished the gigantic Fault Heavenly Sword. His sword aura reached the perfect level, and 300,000 kilograms of force wrapped around the surface of the gigantic Fault Heavenly Sword. Chi! The sound of cloth being torn apart resounded, and the meteor-like sword light slashed towards the old man in black robes at lightning speed. Because the speed of the sword was too fast, it gave people the illusion that what he slashed was not a sword, but a bolt of lightning. Break! As the star-slashing sword light approached, the old man in black robes narrowed his eyes. His arm muscles bulged, and he thrust his silver spear forward. The sharp spear light was like a silver flood dragon baring its fangs and brandishing its claws, and it whistled as it collided with the star-slashing sword light. Immediately, an endless amount of rebounding force was formed. The black mass dispersed in all directions, and the momentum was extremely shocking. 4 Slaughtering Styles, Remnant Blood. After facing the old man's attack head-on, Yi Chunfeng forcefully suppressed the surging chi and blood in his body, and continued to attack. Under the amplification of the 2 killing halos, the blood-red sword light formed a thick blood-red color that covered the entire arena. It was like a rain of blood that crashed into the old man in black robes, who was worried and putting all his strength into defense. Rumble! The blood-red sword light exploded in front of the old man in black robes. The violent killing force broke through the old man's defense, and he was forced to retreat step by step. Stop! Stop right now! After witnessing Yi Chunfeng using the secret techniques of Xingluo Sky City, the 8 Sha Azura technique and the 4 Slaughtering Styles, the old man in black robes suspected Yi Chunfeng's identity and shouted loudly. "Stop! The victor hasn't been decided yet, right?" Yi Chunfeng looked at the old man in black robes who shouted loudly. He was unmoved, and his perfect sword force continued to erupt, turning into countless sword shadows that continued to attack the old man. "Are you a direct disciple of Xingluo Sky City?" The old man in black robes asked loudly as he dodged Yi Chunfeng's attacks. "I don't know what you're talking about." The corner of Yi Chunfeng's mouth rose slightly, revealing a trace of a strange smile. He repeatedly used the 4 Slaughtering Styles, bombarding the old man in black robes with attacks like a tidal wave. Although Yi Chunfeng didn't admit it, the old man in black robes firmly believed his identity. When he thought of the power and terror of Xingluo Sky City, a strong sense of apprehension arose in his heart. He didn't dare to hurt Yi Chunfeng. Today's matter ends here. I admit defeat. Helplessly, the first-rank defiant beast king in black robes admitted defeat in front of everyone. He sullenly jumped down from the arena, and disappeared from the noisy arena with another old man in black robes from House Xiahou. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 281. Challenging a Peerless King. As expected, Yi Chunfeng is Xingluo Sky City's personal disciple. Xue Kuluo's expression darkened when he saw Yi Chunfeng use the 8 Shura art and the 4 slaughter styles. House Xiao's hesitation made Xue Kuluo furrow his brows. We expected this result. The fact that he dared to kill House Xiao's geniuses without hesitation proves that he doesn't care about House Xiao at all. There aren't many factions in Xingluo that can ignore House Xiao's threat. The shadow said in a low voice as he looked at the unruly Yi Chunfeng. His deep eyes shone with a bright light as he spoke. Because of the ancient North Sea, Slaughter City cut off all contact with Xingluo Sky City. Now that several hundred years have passed, a genius from Xingluo Sky City suddenly came to visit. Could it be because of the ancient North Sea? Xue Kuluo guessed with a dark expression. That's possible. Or maybe he's just here to gain experience, said Shadow. Shadow, how should we deal with him? Xue Kuluo asked for Shadow's opinion. This was the first time he felt that the situation was a little tricky. Create trouble for him and make him retreat. Then, we'll wait for the king to come out of seclusion, Shadow said faintly. Create trouble? That's a good idea. Xue Kuluo's eyes lit up. Yi Chunfeng is already on bad terms with House Wu. Let's leave the troublemaking to them. I'd like to see how far he can climb in the face of endless trouble. Who else wants to fight? Yi Chunfeng held the titanic Fault Empyrean sword in his hand, exuding a matchless aura. He looked around and spoke domineeringly. After seeing Yi Chunfeng defeat a peerless king, everyone present was intimidated by his strength. No one dared to challenge him. The soul spying on me has disappeared. It seems that they've believed my identity. Yi Chunfeng sensed that the people spying on him had left. He knew that he was no longer in danger. However, once they confirmed that his identity as a core disciple of Xingluo Sky City was fake, his situation would become even more dangerous. Not only would Slaughter City hunt him down, but so would the experts from Xingluo Heaven City. At most 3 months I will leave Slaughter City. Yi Chunfeng decided in his heart. Yi Chunfeng used his absolute strength to intimidate everyone present. When no one dared to challenge him, Yu Nikhang also used her absolute advantage to obtain 8 consecutive victories. No one dared to challenge her. After waiting for the time it took for an incense stick to burn, the two of them saw that no one dared to challenge them. Without further delay, they left the arena and returned to the advanced cultivation room in the inner city to rest. The next morning, they arrived at the martial arena of the first level of the Tower of Slaughter early in the morning. They obtained the qualifications to directly enter the second level of the Tower of Slaughter and also obtained 5,500 genes of slaughter points as a reward. Let's go and take a look at the second level of the Tower of Slaughter. Yi Chunfeng did not stop. He and Yu Nikhang passed through the transmission array of the first level of the Tower of Slaughter and were transported to the second level of the Tower of Slaughter. What a dense death aura! After being transported to the second level of the Tower of Slaughter, Yi Chunfeng immediately felt that the death aura in the air had become even denser. The 8 Sha Azura skill began to circulate on its own, crazily devouring the death aura in the air, and condensing the third killing halo bit by bit. Nikhang, let's go to the treasure building and see if there are any precious treasures for sale here, Yi Chunfeng suggested. He and Nick Hang arrived at the only treasure building on the second level of the Tower of Slaughter. 1000-year blood peach, red leaf serene lotus. When Yi Chunfeng was introduced to the treasures that could be exchanged in the treasure tower by a young and beautiful woman in a thin, short skirt, he was pleasantly surprised. The core essence of the 1000-year blood peach was one of the necessary ingredients to refine the marrow cleansing pill. If he could obtain the 1000-year blood peach and find the blood soul grass, he would be able to refine the marrow cleansing pill. Once he succeeded in refining the marrow cleansing pill, Yi Chunfeng would have the opportunity to reach the large success stage of the refining marrow stage. At that time, his pure physical strength would be comparable to a level 4 heavenly beast. Combined with the power of the two-headed blood dragon king, it would be enough to crush any ordinary peerless king. As for the red leaf serene lotus, it was also something that Yi Chunfeng needed. It was an essential ingredient to refine the heaven-tier soul pill, the three orifices heavenly pill. How many slaughter points do these two spirit treasures cost? Yi Chunfeng suppressed the excitement in his heart and asked. This 1000-year blood peach costs 20,000 slaughter points, and this red leaf serene lotus costs 15,000 slaughter points. However, young master has the 100 victories emblem, so you only need to pay a 10% discount. When the beautiful girl saw that Yi Chunfeng wanted to buy these two spirit treasures, she immediately revealed a charming smile and said sweetly, 40,000 slaughter points. I will buy these two spirit treasures. Just as Yi Chunfeng was about to buy these two spirit treasures, a cold voice rang out in the treasure building. An old man with white hair, wearing a gray robe and a vigorous aura appeared. Peerless King. Feeling the strength of the gray-robed old man, Yi Chunfeng's pupils shrank. He didn't expect that trouble would come knocking on his door as soon as he arrived at the second floor of the Tower of Slaughter. His face instantly turned gloomy. Greetings, Elder Wu. Seeing the gray-robed old man slowly walk in, the beautiful girl immediately recognized his identity. She quickly stepped forward and bowed respectfully. As I thought, this person is the Wu family's peerless king. Yi Chunfeng's complexion was ugly as he looked at the gray-robed old man. The gray-robed old man coldly swept his eyes over Yi Chunfeng and provocatively said, Can you sell this 1000-year blood peach and the red leaf serene lotus to me for 40,000 slaughter points? The beautiful girl didn't dare to offend the gray-robed old man, so she politely said, Of course. If Elder Wu wants them, they only need 30,000 slaughter points. Yi Chunfeng gloomily said, What? When you buy and sell spirit treasures, don't you care about first come first serve? He had to obtain the 1000-year blood peach and the red leaf serene lotus. He would not allow these two spirit treasures to be taken away from him. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's question, the beautiful girl was in a dilemma. She didn't know how to answer him. Reason? The gray-robed old man revealed a mischievous smile. In the slaughter tower, the fist is the absolute truth. If I want to forcefully buy them, what can you do to me? As he spoke, the gray-robed old man paid 30,000 slaughter points in front of Yi Chunfeng and forcefully bought the 1000-year blood peach and the red leaf serene lotus. Just as the gray-robed old man was preparing to leave, Yi Chunfeng called out to him, I challenge you. Do you dare to accept? What? You challenge me? The gray-robed old man was stunned. He slowly turned around and playfully looked at Yi Chunfeng. He deliberately asked again, Did I hear wrong? You want to challenge me? Are your ears bad or are you afraid to accept? Yi Chunfeng snorted and said, That's right. Your Wu family is just a bunch of cowards. I already experienced it in the first level of the Slaughter Tower's martial arena. In order to obtain the 1000-year blood peach and the red leaf serene lotus, he would pay any price to kill this gray-robed old man. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's ridicule, the gray-robed old man's face sank. His eyes shot out a terrifying light. Since you want to die, then I'll fulfill your wish. I accept your challenge. The gray-robed old man gnashed his teeth. Blue veins popped out on his forehead. "Nick Heng, let's go to the martial arena. Watch me twist off this old dog's head and use it as a chamber pot." Yi Chunfeng continued to ridicule, causing the gray-robed old man to fly into a rage. He wished he could immediately take Yi Chunfeng's life. "Yi Chunfeng, I swear I will grind your bones to dust." The gray-robed old man took a deep breath and forcefully suppressed the surging rage in his heart. He swore in his heart as he followed Yi Chunfeng and Xiao Chen to the extraordinarily bustling dueling ground. Mobile reading website, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 282. The momentum of the sword is overwhelming. Yi Chunfeng, be careful. Nick Heng held Yi Chunfeng's large hand tightly and urged him with a nervous expression. Although Yi Chunfeng was very strong, the difference in strength between the Dark Beast sect and the Reverse Beast King was like heaven and earth. Moreover, the Wu family was an old family in Slaughter City with a deep foundation. Nick Heng couldn't help but worry for him. "Don't worry, Nick Heng. He will definitely die." Yi Chunfeng revealed an unruly smile, his body exuding the confidence of victory, which calmed down Yu Nichang's anxious heart. After saying that, Yi Chunfeng leaped into the air, leaving behind an afterimage. He appeared in an empty battle arena and pointed his gigantic fault heavenly sword at Elder Wu, who had a gloomy expression on his face. He said domineeringly, "Come, let me see if the Wu family's peerless king is worth his reputation." As soon as Yi Chunfeng's voice fell, it caused a huge commotion in the noisy arena. It attracted the attention of almost all the spectators in the stands, and they all started discussing. Who is that person? He actually dares to challenge Elder Wu. Could it be that he doesn't know that Elder Wu is a supreme king? I don't know him. Maybe he's a hothead who just came to this floor. I've discovered that there are truly people who are not afraid of death. They just arrived at the second floor of the Slaughter Tower and they dare to challenge Elder Wu, one of the 3 kings of this floor. They are truly tired of living. Kid, you're dead for sure today. Elder Wu glared at Yi Chunfeng, who was pointing his sword at him. The anger in his chest almost caused his lungs to explode. Golden lightning gloves. Even though Elder Wu was furious, he did not let his guard down. He quickly took out a pair of supreme-grade earth-level gloves that were flickering with lightning and put them on. An ancient alligator with a body length of more than 30 meters appeared. Its mouth was incomparably long, and its eyes emitted a terrifying light. Its dark skin was like black iron, and it was emitting a faint red light. Two-headed Blood Dragon King Fuse. The moment Elder Wu summoned his spiritual beast, the ancient crocodile, the double-headed Blood Dragon King, which was more than 3,000 meters long, appeared on Yi Chunfeng's body. It released a chilling dragon aura and roared at the ancient crocodile. The ancient alligator was already very big, but compared to the two-headed Blood Dragon King, it was like a small insect. Its huge size made Elder Wu feel a trace of pressure. Heavens, am I seeing things? That person's spiritual beast is actually a double-headed dragon. It seems that this person dares to challenge Elder Wu because he has something to rely on. However, with his strength as a level 2 profound beast ancestor, it will be too difficult for him to defeat Elder Wu. Yi Chunfeng, don't think you can defeat me just because you have a top-level spiritual beast. I'll let you know how big the gap is between the Mystic Beast sect and the Reverse Beast King. Elder Wu's face darkened. After fusing with the ancient crocodile, his strength had been greatly improved. He suddenly leaned forward and turned into a stream of light, attacking Yi Chunfeng. Collapsing Cloud Palm. Elder Wu quickly attacked, and Yi Chunfeng quickly took a step forward. 2 rainbow-shaped killing halos appeared behind him, and 700,000 kilograms of force gushed out of his body, quickly condensing into a giant palm print that was compressed to the extreme. Boom! The collapsing cloud palm, which was enough to explode the void, firmly imprinted on Elder Wu's fist. An astonishing hurricane swept out, and the terrifying shock wave made the arena tremble. Collapsing cloud palm. After the first palm, Yi Chunfeng used the amplitude of the two killing halos to consecutively imprint 3 more collapsing cloud palms, bombarding Elder Wu continuously, not giving him a chance to get close. The terrifying shock wave spread out in the air like dense water ripples. The astonishing destructive power shook the hard arena until it was full of cracks. The bright light made people unable to open their eyes. Seeing that Elder Wu, a level 1 reverse beast king, couldn't get close to Yi Chunfeng, a level 2 mystic beast grandmaster, the audience in the stands widened their eyes and mouths in shock. They looked at Yi Chunfeng in disbelief, shocked by his attack power. Rending light claw. Killing intent surged in Elder Wu's eyes. Countless lightning bolts surged out from the golden lightning gloves, condensing into a light-rending claw that flashed with lightning. The light-rending claw shattered the consecutive cloud-collapsing palms and grabbed at Yi Chunfeng's heart like a black tiger. Complete sword aura break! The rending light claw tore through the air, and the complete sword aura immediately gushed out of Yi Chunfeng's body and merged into the gigantic fault heavenly sword. Kacha, the sharp tip of the gigantic fault heavenly sword, emitted a dense, shattering sound. The gigantic fault heavenly sword had merged with the complete sword aura, 350,000 kilograms of strength, and the double killing power, and forcibly shattered the rending light claw. Soul-suppressing tablet. Elder Wu's face sank as the rending light claw was shattered by Yi Chunfeng's attack power. He used his ultimate move, and the rolling soul power condensed into a giant hand that covered the sky, enveloping the entire arena. Within the giant hand, there was a stone tablet covered with ancient runes. Large patches of air were suppressed by the soul-suppressing tablet and quickly scattered in all directions, forming a vacuum. Suppress! Elder Wu roared. The giant hand holding the soul-suppressing tablet descended from the sky. It was like a giant mountain, ruthlessly smashing towards Yi Chunfeng, wanting to smash him into meat paste. Eternal night. Seeing the fierce and tyrannical soul-suppressing tablet smashing towards him, Yi Chunfeng, who had nowhere to run, used all his strength to meet the attack. The unparalleled sword aura swept across the heaven and earth, snatching away all the light in the surroundings. It was as if the night had descended. A giant sword that was as fast as lightning tore through the night sky, as if it had split open the sky. It struck the soul-suppressing tablet, causing 1,000 layers of giant waves and causing the sky to tremble. Boom, 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 the turbulent air continued to explode, and a destructive storm swept out in all directions. The terrifying power shook the sturdy arena until it was full of cracks, and the defensive light barrier around the arena was shattered. Seeing the destructive power of the two's exchange and hearing the explosions, the spectators in the stands were dumbfounded. Too terrifying. A level 2 mystic beast ancestor is actually not at a disadvantage against a peerless king. What kind of great power has nurtured such a monster? Your strength is only SOSO? How disappointing. Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and suppressed the surging blood in his body. He looked at the ashen-faced Elder Wu and deliberately mocked him to disturb his mind. Yi Chunfeng, the competition has just begun. It's too early for you to be happy, Elder Wu said with a gloomy face. A pair of light red soul wings that were completely condensed from soul power appeared behind his back. The red soul wings flapped violently, causing gusts of wind, which instantly increased Elder Wu's speed. He launched a tidal wave of attacks at Yi Chunfeng. He wanted to rely on his speed to suppress Yi Chunfeng and gain the absolute advantage to kill him in one fell swoop. Elder Wu, who had condensed the soul wings, was astonishingly fast. However, with Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul power, the trajectory of Elder Wu's attacks were constantly seen through by Yi Chunfeng. He stepped on the shifting phantom and calmly dodged. After images shuttled back and forth, making it impossible for Elder Wu to suppress him with speed. Explode for me. Elder Wu was furious that he couldn't obtain an overwhelming advantage even after condensing the soul wings. Following his roar, two palm prints filled with destructive power struck out, causing a large amount of air to be compressed and explode. The terrifying palm lights were like two meteors that smashed towards Yi Chunfeng. The pressure in the air instantly increased. Eternal night. At this critical moment, two killing halos quickly absorbed the surrounding death aura, increasing Yi Chunfeng's attack power by twofold. The Eternal Night Sword Light, which was filled with the power of slaughter, rapidly slashed out from the titanic fault heavenly sword. It tore a sword scar that was dozens of feet long in space. The sky changed color and the sword aura roared. The Eternal Night Sword Light directly split apart Elder Wu's palm prints and shot towards his chest. PFFF. A glaring blood splashed out. Elder Wu, who couldn't dodge in time, had his body's defense broken by the Eternal Night Sword Light. A large amount of blood splattered out from his chest and onto the ground. It was a shocking sight. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 283. Wrath of God, Destruction. Elder Wu is injured. Elder Wu, a peerless king, was actually injured by that young man. Too terrifying. This person's attack power is too terrifying. This is the first time I've seen a level 2 Mystic Beast Grandmaster injure a peerless king. Today's battle was too satisfying. Looking at Elder Wu, who was injured in the chest and spurting out blood, the audience in the stands became excited. They started to discuss among themselves, and almost everyone's attention was attracted to the scene. "You've really angered me." Elder Wu felt a burning pain in his chest and listened to the noisy discussions around him. His face was as gloomy as water, and the flames in his eyes seemed to want to melt Yi Chunfeng. Spiritual Beast Bloodline, activate. Elder Wu roared. The ancient crocodile reappeared in his body. A powerful bloodline power was emitted from his body, greatly increasing his strength. The reason why legendary kings were so terrifying was that after breaking through to the reverse beast king realm, their spiritual beast and physical body would complete the fusion. After the fusion, the reverse beast king's body would produce the bloodline of a spiritual beast, greatly increasing its strength. When the reverse beast king enhanced his spiritual beast's bloodline power to the extreme, his spiritual beast would undergo a second metamorphosis and break through to the battle beast emperor realm, gaining the ability to transform. It's time to go all out. Sensing Elder Wu's sudden increase in strength, Yi Chunfeng revealed a solemn expression. Under everyone's watchful eyes, he didn't dare transform into his beast soul form, nor did he dare reveal his life soul spell. He could only rely on his own strength to resist. Ancient profound ice, green spiritual fire, purple spiritual lightning, appear. When Elder Wu activated his spiritual beast bloodline, the three destructive spiritual items appeared in his body. Under the control of the Chaos Divine Wood, they quickly condensed and formed a ball of explosive power. Spiritual fire, spiritual thunder, spiritual water. How did he do it? How could his body contain three great spiritual objects? Isn't he afraid that the three spiritual objects would repel each other and explode? When Elder Wu saw the three phases above Yi Chunfeng's head, his heart inexplicably trembled. Even he couldn't accommodate three phases at the same time. What kind of freak is this kid? Because Xue Ku Luo had purposely concealed Yi Chunfeng's identity, the Wu family knew little about him. They didn't know that he might have come from Xingluo Sky City. Wrath of God's punishment. Yi Chunfeng roared. The destructive ball of light formed by the three spirit items turned into a stream of energy. It was like the roar of a god. It surged through the 9 heavens and blasted toward Shwe Kuluo, whose expression had changed slightly. Soul-suppressing tablet. Shwe Kuluo's bloodline power erupted. The gigantic hand that held the soul-suppressing steel surged out of his body, slamming into the surging wrath of divine punishment. Boom! The two destructive forces collided, and a huge boom resounded through the entire arena. The terrifying power was like the fury of the thunder god, collapsing the incomparably sturdy arena and shattering several energy shields that were rising up into the air. Seeing the power of destruction erupting from the energy shield, the spectators in the stands were terrified. Many of them even began to tremble. Pooh! Yi Qinfeng's body trembled, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. His body crashed heavily into the energy shield behind him, and a large amount of blood spurted out of his mouth. If it weren't for the Blood Dragon King's soul armor helping him to dissolve most of the attack, such a terrifying destructive power would have been enough to destroy his body. Although Elder Wu was far stronger than Yi Qinfeng and had activated his spiritual beast bloodline, his body was far weaker than Yi Qinfeng's. Taking the attack of Wrath of God's punishment head-on, he was also heavily injured. Damn it, why is this kid so difficult to deal with? Elder Wu thought that activating his spiritual beast bloodline would allow him to control the situation and kill Yi Qinfeng. However, he didn't expect Yi Qinfeng's attack to be 100 times more terrifying than he had imagined. The attack of Wrath of God's punishment terrified him. Wrath of God's punishment. Yi Qinfeng took a deep breath and quickly drank a mouthful of heavenly fate water. He instantly recovered his expended soul power and stabilized his injuries. He controlled the 3 spirit items to fuse again, forming a destructive power. Rumble, a thunderous sound rang above the chaotic arena, and the entire space was distorted. The destructive power of Wrath of God's punishment once again bombarded Elder Wu, whose expression changed drastically. Lunatic! The destructive power erupted like a volcano. Elder Wu cursed in his heart and continued to print the soul-suppressing tablet to counterattack. When the two forces of destruction collided, they once again formed an endless torrent of energy. The ferocious forces of destruction formed a storm of destruction in the air above the arena, distorting the air above the arena. It's too terrifying. The destructive power caused by the fight between these two is too terrifying. Is he really only a Class 2 Mystic Beast ancestor? Looking at the arena covered by the destructive storm, the spectators in the stands couldn't help but gulp. They had no doubt that if it weren't for the several defensive shields around the arena, they would have been swept into the storm and minced into pieces. Elder Huang, who do you think will have the last laugh between the two of them? At this moment, 2 figures appeared on the main spectator stand of the arena. One of them was a tall woman with delicate skin, long golden hair draped over her shoulders, and a green silk dress that dragged all the way to the ground. She looked at the 2 people fighting in the arena and asked in a pleasant voice. Normally speaking, Elder Wu's strength is far superior to that young man. However, it seems that it's hard to tell who will win. The tall and straight old man, who wore a linen robe and whose eyes were as black as ink, shook his head and said, "These 2 people were from the 3 great families of the Slaughter Inner City. Apart from the Wu family, the elders of the Luo and Huang families were also peerless kings. They were usually in charge of guarding the 2nd floor of the Slaughter Tower together with Elder Wu. I feel that Elder Wu is going to be unlucky this time." The green-dressed woman looked at the changes in the arena and revealed a trace of an enchanting smile. The 3 great families of the Slaughter Inner City didn't have a good relationship. Seeing Elder Wu suffer, not only did the 2 not interfere, they even watched the battle with interest. Pung pung! The 2 figures fell out of the destructive storm and heavily crashed into the cracked energy barrier. Large amounts of blood spurted out from their mouth. "Little bastard, I'll definitely kill you." Feeling the intense pain in his body, Elder Wu, whose internal organs were severely injured, spat out a mouthful of blood. He struggled to stand up and looked at Yi Chunfeng ferociously. He wanted to kill Yi Chunfeng in one go to vent the hatred in his heart. It's not certain who will die yet. Yi Chunfeng drank another mouthful of heavenly fate water and instantly recovered his expended soul power. He suppressed his injuries and fiercely slapped the ground with his hands, bouncing up from the ground. A blurry afterimage streaked across the chaotic air, approaching the severely injured Elder Wu at an extremely fast speed. How is this possible? How can he still fight? Seeing Yi Chunfeng's figure rapidly approaching, Elder Wu revealed an expression of disbelief. He couldn't believe that Yi Chunfeng's body's endurance far exceeded his. It's over. Wrath of divine punishment destroy. Ancient profound ice, green spiritual fire, and purple spiritual lightning surged out of Yi Chunfeng's body and gathered into endless destructive light lotuses. They bombarded Elder Wu's face, whose expression had changed greatly. Boom! A thunderous sound exploded as the destructive storm swept through the entire space, directly swallowing the heavily injured Elder Wu. Several defensive barriers were directly shattered. Thunder exploded, flames exploded, and ice roared. The destructive scene made everyone present feel fear. Even the peerless kings of the Huang and Luo families' expressions changed greatly. The destructive storm rampaged, and more than half of the sturdy arena disappeared. On the second floor of the slaughter tower, Elder Wu, who had supreme authority, had his body almost destroyed and lost his ability to fight. You really shouldn't have taken my things. At this time, Yi Chunfeng, who was also seriously injured and was barely holding on with his obsession, appeared behind him. Using the Blood Dragon King armor to resist the destructive storm, he pressed his right hand on Yi Chunfeng's head and activated the soul-devouring art to devour his spiritual beast. When the destructive storm gradually dissipated, Yi Chunfeng, who was pale and covered in blood, walked out of the ruined arena. Elder Wu lay on the ground with empty eyes. He had lost both his spiritual beast and his life. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 284. Elder Wu is dead. Looking at Elder Wu's corpse lying motionless in the ruins, the Huang clan and Luo clan elders widened their eyes in disbelief at the scene in front of them. Although they had expected that Elder Wu might have been defeated by Yi Chunfeng, they had never imagined that Yi Chunfeng had the strength to kill him. A level 2 mystic beast grandmaster killing a king? Is this true? The green-dressed lady and the linen-robed elder looked at each other and could see the shock in each other's eyes. Qingfeng, are you all right? Yu Nikheng looked at the bloody and heavily injured Yi Chunfeng walking out of the ruins. She immediately ran over and held his bloody arm as she asked anxiously, "I'm fine. Let's go back." Yi Chunfeng shook his head and straightened his back. Under the gazes of reverence, he and Yu Nikheng left the quiet martial arena. "Nikheng, my injuries are too heavy. Quickly go and rent a cultivation room. I need to heal as soon as possible." Although Yi Chunfeng had used the wrath of divine retribution to kill Elder Wu, his body had also been damaged beyond recognition by the violent destructive energy. If it weren't for the terrifying recovery ability of the Heaven's Fate Water, he would have collapsed long ago. After about an incense stick's worth of time, Yu Nikheng had rented an advanced cultivation room on the second floor of the Tower of Slaughter. When Yi Chunfeng, who had bitterly persevered by relying on his stubbornness, entered the cultivation room, he could no longer hold on. His body softened and he fell headfirst into Moon Raymond's bosom. So soft. This was the last thought that flashed through Yi Chunfeng's mind before his vision turned black and he fainted. What? The fourth elder is dead. He was killed by that Yi Chunfeng. When the head of the Wu family, Wu Tuahong, learned that Yi Chunfeng had killed an elder of the Wu family in front of everyone, He was stunned for a moment before a towering rage was emitted from his body. The Wu clan had a total of 5 absolute kings. Now that the 4th elder had been killed, the Wu clan's overall strength had been greatly affected. Who can tell me what level that Yi Qinfeng is at? How could he kill the 4th elder? Wu Tuahong roared with a gloomy expression. Patriarch, that Yi Qinfeng's identity is not simple at all. It is extremely likely that he came from a terrifying holy land. We should figure out his identity before thinking of a way to deal with him. Otherwise, the Wu family will probably attract a lot of trouble. The great elder of the Wu clan, who wore a black robe and had a goatee, spoke cautiously. His eyes were shining brightly. Of course I know that he is not simple. Otherwise, I would not have alarmed Great Elder Shui and asked us to deal with him. Wu Tuahong said gloomily, but since he dared to kill the 4th elder, we can't just let him go. Great Elder, quickly bring 200,000 slaughter points to the slaughter pagoda and bribe the experts there to deal with him. I want him to die without a burial ground in the slaughter pagoda. Wu Tuahong's eyes flashed with a ruthless light. He had decided to stop at nothing to kill Yi Qinfeng. Shadow, have you heard? That Yi Qinfeng killed the Wu clan's peerless king, the 4th elder, on the 2nd floor of the slaughter pagoda. The gloomy Shui Kulo found Shadow and told him about Yi Qinfeng killing the Wu clan's great elder. I heard that too. No wonder he is a top genius nurtured by a rank 8 holy land. His potential is too terrifying. Shadow, whose entire body had merged with the darkness, opened his eyes and said coldly, Shadow, how long until the king comes out of seclusion? Shui Kuluo asked with a serious expression. If all goes well, the king will come out in 2 months, Shadow said coldly. All right. We will do our best to cause trouble for him in these 2 months and wait for the king to come out. Shui Kuluo did not dare to make the decision to deal with Yi Qinfeng on his own, so he had no choice but to make the decision. Just as Shui Kuluo and the Wu clan were thinking of ways to cause trouble for Yi Qinfeng finally woke up. Qingfeng, how do you feel? Are your injuries serious? Yu Nikhang, who had been silently watching over Yi Qinfeng for 2 days and 2 nights, let out a long sigh of relief and asked with concern. I'm fine. My injuries have healed. While Yi Qinfeng was unconscious, the soul-devouring art he cultivated had been operating on its own. While absorbing the rich spirit energy in the advanced cultivation room, he had also refined the Wu clan's 4th elder's spiritual beast and healed his injuries. After 2 days of healing, Yi Qinfeng had not only healed his injuries, but his strength had also greatly improved. His soul power was almost overflowing, and he had reached the peak of rank 2 profound beast ancestor. After recovering from his injuries, Yi Qinfeng immediately took a bath and washed away the bloodstains on his body. He took out the yin-yang ring he had obtained from killing the Wu clan's elder. God-devouring brain break. Using the power of the God-devouring brain, Yi Qinfeng easily broke the seal on the yin-yang ring and released his soul power into it. 53,000 slaughter points. As expected of the Wu clan's elder. He's really rich. In addition to the slaughter points, Yi Qinfeng had also obtained the 1,000-year blood peach, the red leaf tranquil lotus, the cultivation manual for the high-grade heaven-class soul skill soul suppressing tablet, the cultivation manual for the mid-grade heaven-class soul skill soul rending claw, 3 top-grade earth-class weapons, and a large number of precious materials for refining array patterns. In particular, the cultivation manual for the high-grade heaven-class soul skill soul suppressing tablet was priceless. Yi Qinfeng decided to find time to cultivate it and increase his skills. High-grade soul crystals. There are actually 3,000 high-grade soul crystals in this Wu clan's elder's yin-yang ring. At the end of the inspection, Yi Qinfeng found a box sealed with a large number of array patterns in the ring. When he broke the array patterns on the surface of the box, Yi Qinfeng was surprised to find that there were 3,000 high-grade soul crystals in the box. With these 3,000 high-grade soul crystals, In addition to the 1100 high-grade soul crystals and 10 demon heart crystals, the sword puppet would be able to display the strength of a peerless king. It would greatly increase his trump card. Let's go, Nikhang. Let's go to the martial arena. We need to quickly obtain 10 consecutive victories and head to the 3rd floor of the slaughter tower. After putting the Wu clan elder's belongings into his yin-yang bag, Yi Chunfeng changed into a clean set of clothes and left the advanced cultivation room with Yu Nikhang, heading to the martial arena. Arriving at the bustling martial arena, Yi Chunfeng found that the martial arena that he had destroyed during his battle with the Wu clan elder had already been repaired. On several martial arenas, there were martial artists fighting fiercely, and thunderous explosions rang out incessantly. Look, the person who killed Elder Wu has come to the martial arena again. What? Elder Wu was killed by him? You're not lying to me, are you? That person looks so young. What do you know? A peerless genius like him cannot be judged with common sense. I wonder if anyone dares to challenge him today? When Yi Chunfeng's figure appeared in the martial arena, he immediately became the focus of attention. Countless pairs of reverent eyes were cast towards him as they discussed spiritedly. Young Master Yi, your strength has already far surpassed the 2nd floor of the slaughter tower. We will allow you to obtain all the points on the 2nd floor and directly enter the 3rd floor. And Miss, you will also obtain all the slaughter points on the 2nd floor and directly enter the 3rd floor. Just as Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nikhang were preparing to challenge each other, a tall and beautiful peerless king of the Luo clan appeared in front of Yi Chunfeng. She wore a dark green silk dress, and her sexy figure swayed as she spoke in a pleasant voice. Thank you. Yi Chunfeng nodded to the green-dressed woman. After expressing his thanks, he and Yu Nikhang each received 11,000 slaughter points. Then, they passed through the transmission array and entered the 3rd floor of the slaughter tower. For mobile users, please visit /Mpiatia, remember URL. Sanwu Chinese Network. Chapter 285. I really don't know which almighty being built this tower of slaughter. Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nikhang teleported to the 3rd level of the slaughter pagoda and realized that it was still vast and boundless. There were cultivation grounds, markets, and battle arenas. There were even brothels and casinos that could make people intoxicated and unable to extricate themselves. Another newcomer is on the 3rd level of the slaughter pagoda, and it's a hot beauty. Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nikhang had just teleported to the 3rd level of the slaughter pagoda when they were targeted. Let's go and tell these 2 newcomers the rules of the 3rd level of the slaughter pagoda. Sensing that Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nichang's cultivation levels weren't high, and Yu Nikhang was too charming, 2 men who had been on the 3rd level for many years couldn't hold back their restless hearts and intercepted them. Little brothers, is there anything I can help you with? Yu Nikhang looked at the 2 men in black robes who were Class 5 mystic beast ancestors and revealed a charming smile like a blooming flower as she asked delicately. Beauty, the 3rd level of the slaughter pagoda is very difficult to obtain. Since you are so beautiful, why don't you follow us 2 brothers and not this trash? A trash like him won't be able to survive for more than 3 days on the 3rd level of the slaughter pagoda. Looking at the charming Yu Nikhang with a charming smile, the 2 men in black robes were completely attracted by her beauty and spoke with ill intentions. Buzz, buzz. As soon as the 2 of them finished speaking, 2 purple spiritual thunders that were compressed to the extreme surged out of Yi Chunfeng's body. With a thunderous roar that shook one's mind, they blasted towards their heads. Not good. The 2 of them didn't expect Yi Chunfeng to be so bold and actually dare to make a move in public. They immediately merged with their spirit beasts and burst out with all their strength to resist. Rumble! The purple spiritual thunders exploded and released an endless destructive force. It smashed the 2 men's defense like breaking dry weeds and smashed into their bodies, sending them flying. Large amounts of blood spurted out from their mangled bodies and dyed the ground red. Trash! Yi Chunfeng's cold eyes swept over the 2 of them with disdain. He spat out 2 words and left with Yu Nikhang, who was full of smiles. Ching Feng, tell me honestly, were you jealous just now? Yu Nikhang intimately hugged Yi Chenfeng's arm and said with a charming smile. No. Looking at Yu Nichang's charming smile, Yi Chenfeng shook his head and denied. Really? Why don't I believe you? Yu Nikhang blinked her beautiful big eyes and looked straight at Yi Chenfeng. She opened her red lips slightly and said seductively, If you admit it, I'm in a good mood. Maybe I can give you a kiss. Alright, Nikhang, don't tempt me anymore. Looking at Yu Nichang's tender red lips and crafty eyes, Yi Chenfeng helplessly shook his head and changed the topic. Let's go to the treasure pavilion and take a look. Che, a guy who says one thing and means another. Yu Nikhang muttered with some dissatisfaction in her heart. However, she hugged Yi Chenfeng's arm even tighter. I wonder if there's anything I need on the 3rd floor of the Tower of Slaughter? The Tower of Slaughter attracted Yi Chenfeng not only because of the tempering between life and death, but also because he could use slaughter points to exchange for precious spiritual treasures. What do the 2 of you want to exchange for? When Yi Chenfeng and Yu Nikhang walked into the antique treasure pavilion, an old man wearing a gray robe and gold-rimmed glasses came up to them and asked politely, Does your esteemed pavilion have sanguine soul grass, 1,000-year sundew grass, or myriad fruit? Yi Chenfeng asked. We don't have sanguine soul grass, but we do have 1,000-year sundew grass and myriad fruit in our treasure pavilion. However, because 1,000-year sundew grass and myriad fruit are necessary materials to refine a heaven-step soul pill, the price is a bit expensive. The gray-robed old man said. Yi Chenfeng's heart stirred. He suppressed his pleasant surprise and asked without changing his expression, How many slaughter points do I need to exchange for 1,000-year sundew grass and myriad fruit? Exchanging for 2 spirit grasses requires 60,000 slaughter points. However, Sir has the 100 victories badge, so you only need to pay 54,000 slaughter points. The gray-robed old man noticed the 100 victories badge on Yi Chenfeng's shoulder and took the initiative to lower the price. Alright, I'll buy it. Yi Chenfeng didn't even think about it. He paid 54,000 slaughter points without hesitation and exchanged for all the materials needed to refine the 3-aperture heavenly pill. That's right, boss. Do you have an alchemy furnace to exchange for? I also need an alchemy furnace. Although Yi Chenfeng had the green serene spirit fire that could greatly increase his alchemy speed, refining a heaven-step pill was extremely difficult. If he wasn't careful, then he could fail. In order to increase his chances of success, Yi Chenfeng needed to exchange for a high-quality alchemy furnace. Alchemy furnaces are relatively rare treasures, so my treasure pavilion doesn't have any. However, I can give you some information. If you really need an alchemy furnace, you can go to the Slaughter Outer City and look for someone called Eternal Vengeance. He has an alchemy furnace that has been passed down for a long time. However, that person's temperament is a bit strange. Many people want his alchemy furnace, but no one has been able to obtain it. So, whether or not you can obtain it from him will depend on your ability. The shopkeeper revealed an important piece of information to Yi Chenfeng. Eternal Vengeance, what a strange name. Yi Chenfeng muttered to himself. After thanking the shopkeeper, he left with Yu Nikhang. He planned to rent a practice room first before heading to the martial arena. Pond Heart Residence, the environment here is not bad. Let's rent it. Looking at an inn built next to a pond not far away, Yi Chenfeng and Yu Nikhang walked over. Just as the 2 of them arrived at the entrance of the High Xin residence, which was made from a single piece of spirit stone, Yi Chenfeng's sharp senses suddenly felt a strong killing intent locking onto him. He immediately stopped in his tracks and turned around. From afar, he saw a blurry figure flying towards him at an extremely fast speed. Peerless King. Seeing the person flying over condense a pair of light red soul wings, Yi Chenfeng's pupils shrank. His face revealed a trace of seriousness. Although he had killed a rank 1 reverse beast king elder of the Wu family on the second floor of the slaughter tower, he had paid a heavy price in that battle and had almost lost his life. And this person who had locked onto him with killing intent was clearly stronger than the Wu family elder. He was a great threat. Yi Chunfeng, I've finally found you. A man wearing a black skeleton robe, with a pair of light red wings, and exuding a fierce killing intent, looked down at Yi Chunfeng with a ferocious expression. Who are you? Yi Chunfeng looked coldly at the black-robed man. He frowned slightly and asked in a low voice, My name is Sun Lei, and I come from the 4th floor of the slaughter tower. I am the king of the 4th floor. I've come to find you today to kill you. Sun Lei grinned, not hiding his intentions at all. Kill me? I don't think I've provoked you. Although Yi Chunfeng felt that Sun Lei was very terrifying, his expression did not change at all as he coldly replied. Indeed, you haven't provoked me, but someone has put a bounty of 100,000 killing points on your head. I think that besides me, many people are looking for you. Moreover, the woman beside you is to my liking. So, you will definitely die today. Sun Lei licked his scarlet lips. He looked at Yu Nichang's hot body with a burning gaze and said domineeringly, According to the rules of the Tower of Slaughter, you, who is on the 4th floor of the Tower of Slaughter, shouldn't be able to do anything to me? Yi Chunfeng ignored the murderous intent in Sun Lei's eyes and said fearlessly, That's right. The Slaughter Tower does have such a rule. However, as long as I'm fast, no one will know that I've been here. As he spoke, a thunderbird appeared on Sun Lei's body. An earth-shattering killing intent exploded from his body and locked onto Yi Chunfeng. He wanted to use his own strength to kill Yi Chunfeng and snatch Yu Nichang away. For mobile users, please visit /Mpiatia, remember the URL. Sanwu Chinese Network. Chapter 286. How did you do it? Roar! When Sun Lei's fused spiritual beast made a move, a high-pitched dragon roar resounded. The double-headed Blood Dragon King, which was over 3,000 meters long, appeared on Yi Chunfeng's body and roared toward the sky. When Yi Chunfeng fused with the double-headed Blood Dragon King, Yi Chunfeng's strength rose steadily, and he soon broke through to the peak of Class 6 Mystic Beast Ancestor. Double-headed Blood Dragon, you actually have such a powerful spiritual beast. Seeing Yi Chunfeng's spiritual beast, Sun Lei revealed a trace of surprise. However, his attack did not slow down. A top-grade Earth-rank heavy axe made of crystal appeared in his hand. Earth-splitting axe. A shocking axe light cut through the void and chopped towards Yi Chunfeng at a speed faster than light. 8 Slaughter Azura Art. Sun Lei's threat was too great. After being attacked by the earth-splitting axe, Yi Chunfeng felt a strong threat of death. He didn't dare to be careless and continuously used powerful trump cards to increase his attack power to meet Sun Lei's attack head-on. 2 killing halos appeared behind him. His sword aura was perfect. 250,000 pounds of strength were all poured into the gigantic Fault Heavenly Sword. An eternal night sword light that stole all the light shot into the sky. It carried a shocking sword might as it bombarded the earth-shattering axe light. Rumble! The 2 soul skills clashed together, creating 1,000 ripples. Terrifying thunderous roars could be heard as a destructive storm swept through the heavens and earth, causing cracks to appear on the ground. The pool beside the Heart Pond residence started to churn violently. Sensing the danger, the Tan Heart residence activated its restrictions in time. However, the destructive power produced by the collision of the 2 soul skills was too terrifying, and the restrictions protecting the Tan Heart residence were almost shattered. Brat, I'll spare your life today, but I'll definitely kill you in the future. Although Sun Lei's strength was terrifying, he didn't dare to ignore the rules of the Tower of Slaughter. After failing to kill Yi Chunfeng, he didn't dare to stay for long. After leaving behind a ruthless sentence, his light red soul wings flapped violently, creating gusts of wind as he flew away at an extremely fast speed. Chingfeng, are you all right? Yu Nikhang, who was hiding far away, saw that Yi Chunfeng's aura was in chaos, and his right hand was bleeding profusely. Her heart tightened, and she quickly ran over and asked anxiously, "I'm fine." Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and forcefully suppressed the surging blood energy in his body. He said in a low voice, "Let's go. We'll slaughter our way to the outer city and find that Yong Cho to buy an alchemy furnace to refine pills." After experiencing Lei Sen's power, Yi Chunfeng felt that he had to turn into a beast soul to have a fighting chance. But if he revealed his beast soul form in front of everyone, he would be in even more danger. Perhaps even King of Killers would be alerted and come after him. Hence, if he wanted to extricate himself from the dangerous situation, he could only refine the 3-aperture heavenly pill. Once he refined the 3 orifices heavenly pill, Yi Chunfeng was completely confident that he could borrow the powerful medicinal strength of the 3 orifices heavenly pill to break through to the 3rd level of the mystic beast ancestor realm. At that time, he would be able to deal with the danger brought by the high bounty. "Qingfeng, do you have a way to buy an alchemy furnace?" Yu Nikhang asked softly as she followed Yi Chunfeng out of the massacre pagoda. "I don't have absolute confidence. Let's wait until we meet that Yong Cho." Soon, Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nikhang arrived at the outer city of the massacre pagoda. After asking around, they found out where Yong Cho lived. Array patterns. This place where Yong Cho lives is actually filled with array patterns. Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nikhang arrived at Yong Cho's inconspicuous courtyard by the seaside. Yi Chunfeng's sharp senses detected a powerful array pattern power in the courtyard. "Nikhang, wait for me outside. I'll go in and meet him myself." Sensing that the courtyard was filled with mysteries, Yi Chunfeng didn't let Yu Nikhang take the risk. He walked into the courtyard alone. Stepping into the courtyard, the scene in front of Yi Chunfeng immediately changed. A huge iron-jaw divine crocodile that was emitting death aura suddenly appeared. It opened its bloody mouth and bit towards his head. Illusion. As the power of the God-Eater brain kept increasing, Yi Chunfeng's attainment in array patterns was getting deeper. He could see that the iron-jaw divine crocodile was just an illusion formed by array patterns. It didn't have any attacking power. However, if he was scared and attacked blindly, he might trigger other array patterns and form a real attack. God-Eater brain, break array pattern. A powerful restriction-breaking force was deduced in his deep eyes and shot towards the iron-jaw divine crocodile that was roaring and biting towards him. In the next moment, the ferocious iron-jaw divine crocodile's body turned into dense water ripples and dissipated with the wind. Everything returned to normal. "Eternal vengeance, I have no ill intentions this time. I just want to make a deal with you. Please show yourself." Yi Chunfeng stood at the entrance of the courtyard and spoke in a deep voice. "I don't want to see anyone and have no interest in making a deal with you. You can go back now." A hoarse voice rang out in the courtyard. "Before the deal is made, I will not leave." Yi Chunfeng stood proudly and said stubbornly. With the God-Eater brain's quick deduction, he walked into the courtyard that was filled with array patterns. "You're courting death." In the stone house without any light in the courtyard, Eternal Vengeance, who was wearing a black robe and shrouded in darkness, was instantly enraged when he saw Yi Chunfeng insist on barging into the courtyard. He quickly manipulated the array patterns in the courtyard and formed a real attack. Rumble, a large number of array patterns turned into heavenly lightning that filled the sky and roared in midair. They carried a shocking destructive force and bombarded Yi Chunfeng. Green spiritual fire, purple spiritual thunder, ancient cold mystic ice, defend. Facing the concentrated attack of heavenly lightning, Yi Chunfeng immediately controlled the 3 spiritual objects to surge out of his body and gather above his head to block the attacks of the heavenly lightning. Spiritual fire, spiritual thunder, spiritual water. How did you do it? Eternal Vengeance, who was shrouded in darkness, saw the 3 spiritual objects surge out of Yi Chunfeng's body and quickly gather. His eyes were filled with shock. He had never seen someone who could subdue 3 spiritual objects at the same time. What was even more terrifying was that Yi Chunfeng could make the 3 spiritual objects fuse together without exploding. God-Eater Brain, Insight. While Eternal Vengeance was shocked, Yi Chunfeng's eyes once again shot out a large amount of restriction-breaking force into the array patterns and quickly deduced the weak points of the array patterns. Perfect Sword Presence Break. Yi Chunfeng pointed out with his finger. The Perfect Sword Presence surged out and turned into a finger sword that spun at high speed and shot towards a certain spot in the array patterns at an astonishing speed. Facing the finger sword attack of the Perfect Sword Presence, the array patterns that filled the sky with heavenly lightning were distorted and a large amount of heavenly lightning exploded in midair. Buzz, buzz, buzz. After distorting the array patterns with one finger, the Perfect Sword Presence erupted continuously and turned into more than 10 sword lights that attacked the weak points of the array patterns deduced by the God-Eater Brain. In an instant, a large amount of distorted space appeared in the array patterns and crushed the heavenly lightning that attacked Yi Chunfeng. The array patterns in the courtyard became extremely fragile. Instant kill sword. Seizing this opportunity, the titanic Fault Heaven Sword flew out of the universe ring. The Perfect Sword Presence revolved around the sword tip. The intertwining sword light was shocking and unstoppable as it pierced forward. Chi. The sound of cloth tearing echoed. Yi Chunfeng executed the instant kill sword and directly tore apart the array patterns, appearing outside the stone house in the courtyard. How did you do it? Seeing the array patterns that he had spent a lot of effort to set up being destroyed by Yi Chunfeng's sword, Eternal Vengeance's heart trembled and set off a huge wave as he exclaimed in disbelief. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 287. True Fire Furnace. Now, are you willing to see me? Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul locked onto Yongcho in the stone house as he spoke in a deep voice. Your Excellency's attainments in formation patterns are indeed beyond my expectations, but I still don't want to make a deal with you. Please leave. Yongcho suppressed the shock in his heart and said in a hoarse voice, but his tone was much more polite. I'm sorry, but you have a treasure that is extremely important to me. If I can't get it, I won't leave. Yi Chunfeng's current situation was not good. In order to increase his strength as soon as possible, he had to obtain Yongcho's inherited alchemy furnace. You're here for my alchemy furnace, right? Hearing Yi Chunfeng's resolute tone, Yongcho, who was in the stone house, was silent for a minute before asking. That's right, I'm here precisely for the alchemy furnace, but I'm not asking for it, I'm merely borrowing it, Yi Chunfeng said, and I'm confident that the price I offer will satisfy you. I am a person who is about to die. My desire for external objects is no longer strong. As for that alchemy furnace, it is my life's work. Even if you have a heaven artifact, I will not lend it to you. Yongcho said hoarsely, his voice filled with a deathly stillness. What if I can help you take revenge? Yi Chunfeng pondered for a moment and said. Buzz. Just as Yi Chunfeng finished speaking, Eternal Chao's aura became chaotic. Clearly, Yi Chunfeng's words had revealed the secret in his heart, disturbing his already dead heart. Who are you? Yongcho's words became sharp, and his voice revealed sternness and vigilance. Looks like I guessed right. You're someone with a story. Otherwise, most people wouldn't give you such a weird name. Hearing the change in Yongcho's voice, Yi Chunfeng knew that his guess was correct. He slowly said, If I agree to avenge you, would you be willing to lend me your alchemy furnace? You're right. I do have a blood feud on my shoulders, but you're too weak. You can't help me take revenge, Yongcho said after a minute of silence. If your enemy isn't a level 2 beast king, I can immediately avenge you. If your enemy is a level 2 beast king or above, I'll avenge you within 10 years, Yi Chenfeng promised. Don't you think you're a bit too arrogant? You think you can kill an absolute king with your level 2 profound beast ancestor cultivation? Yong Cho said without any trace of politeness. Realm doesn't represent strength, does it? With that, a high-pitched dragon roar resounded. The two-headed blood dragon king, whose body was over 3,000 meters long, was covered in scales that were over 1 meter wide, and had 2 large and sinister dragon heads, appeared on Yi Chenfeng's body. Dragon, your spiritual beast is actually a dragon. Like the others, Yong Cho was shocked to see Yi Chenfeng's spiritual beast, the two-headed blood dragon king. Although I'm only a level 2 profound beast ancestor, I have the strength to kill an absolute king. If you don't believe me, you can go to the second floor of the slaughter tower and ask around. A few days ago, I just killed an absolute king of the Wu family. With that, Yi Chenfeng took out the identity token he had obtained from killing the Wu family elder and threw it through the window into the dark stone house. The door isn't closed. Come in. Yong Cho glanced at the Wu family elder's identity token lying on the cold ground. After 3 breaths of silence, he lit up the dark stone house and said in a hoarse voice. Stepping in, Yi Chenfeng saw Yong Cho sitting cross-legged on a stone bed. He was wearing a black robe and had a skinny body looking like a skeleton. When he saw Yong Cho's face, his expression changed slightly, revealing a look of shock. Yong Cho's face was completely disfigured. His blurry facial features were almost glued together, and it was impossible to distinguish his nose and mouth. More importantly, he saw deathly stillness and despair in Eternal Vengeance's remaining eyes. There was not a trace of life in his body, as if he was a walking corpse. Tell me who your enemy is, and I'll avenge you. Yi Chenfeng quickly regained his composure and looked calmly at Yong Cho's disfigured face. Perhaps I'm the only one who can avenge you. If you miss this opportunity, I'm afraid you'll regret it for the rest of your life. Gotcha. As soon as Yi Chenfeng finished speaking, the stone bed under Yong Cho suddenly shattered. An energy that made Yi Chenfeng feel suffocated gushed out and shot toward Yi Chenfeng at an extremely fast speed. 8 Sha Azura Technique, Slaughter Halo. Facing the sudden attack, Yi Chenfeng did not panic. 2 slaughter halos appeared behind him, increasing his attacking power by 2-fold. Following that, his sword aura was perfected. 350,000 gene of strength was poured into the gigantic fault heavenly sword, activating the 81 attacking runes on the sword and maximizing the attacking power of the sword. Slaughter 4th Style, Eternal Night. An Eternal Night sword light that stole the light from the stone room slashed out, drawing a deep sword scar in the dark night and hacking at the terrifying energy at close range. Rumble! A powerful explosion rang out in the stone room. The terrifying energy was like a tsunami that spread out in all directions, instantly causing the only stone room in the courtyard to collapse. The runes above the courtyard trembled violently. Tap, tap, tap. Facing the thunderous attack from the stone bed head-on, Yi Chenfeng was pushed back by the powerful aftershock. The blood in his body roiled violently, and the arm that was holding the gigantic fault heavenly sword felt numb. You really do have the strength to fight against a peerless king. Earlier, when Yong Cho detonated the stone bed, he did not want to kill Yi Chenfeng. Instead, he wanted to test Yi Chenfeng's strength. When Yong Cho saw that Yi Chenfeng, a second-grade profound beast ancestor, was able to block the power of the seal under the stone bed, he believed in Yi Chenfeng's strength. Now, can you tell me who your enemy is? Yi Chenfeng took a deep breath and suppressed the boiling blood in his body as he spoke in a low voice. All right, I'll make a bet before I die. Yong Cho took a deep breath and said, My enemy is the king of the 5th floor of the slaughter tower, blood-slaughtering sword king. His strength is at the peak of the 1st level, and he's only a step away from the 2nd level. If you can help me kill him, I'll give you the true fire furnace. I'll remember your enemy. I'll bring his head to you in 3 months at the latest. Yi Chenfeng promised. As long as he refined the 3-aperture heavenly pellet and reached the 4th level, Yi Chunfeng was confident that he could kill a peak of the 1st level. 3 months? You're really that confident? Yong Cho said doubtfully. There's an entire realm difference between the two of you. I'll naturally do what I say, but the prerequisite is that you have to lend me the true fire furnace. I need it to refine pills and increase my strength. Yi Chunfeng nodded. All right, I'll trust you this time. Yong Cho looked deeply at Yi Chunfeng for a full minute. Seeing that his eyes were incomparably clear, he clenched his teeth and decided to take a gamble. He took out a palm-sized, fiery red true fire furnace with Taotai runes engraved on its surface. I'll lend you this true fire furnace for 3 months. If you can't keep your promise and don't return it within 3 months, I'll detonate the restrictions on it and destroy it. Yong Cho gently caressed the true fire furnace as if he was caressing his lover. He reluctantly handed it over to Yi Chunfeng and solemnly warned. I'll bring the blood-slaughtering Sword King's head to you within 3 months. Yi Chunfeng promised. With that, Yi Chunfeng put the true fire furnace into his spatial pouch and turned to leave. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading. You'll see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 288. 3-Orifice Heaven Pill. How was it, Chingfeng? Did you get the alchemy furnace from that person? Seeing Yi Chunfeng, whose clothes were a little messy, walk out of the courtyard, Yu Nishang, who had been waiting outside, immediately went up and asked. I got it. Let's go back to the inner city. Yi Chunfeng nodded and returned to the inner city with Yu Nikhang. They rented a high-grade cultivation room in the inner city. Nikhang, stand guard for me. Don't let anyone disturb me. I want to refine a furnace of heaven-rank spirit pills, Yi Chunfeng said solemnly. Heaven-rank spirit pills. Yu Nikhang was shocked to hear that Yi Chunfeng wanted to refine heaven-rank spirit pills. She knew how difficult it was to refine heaven-rank spirit pills. Even in her family, only one person had the ability to refine heaven-rank spirit pills. Moreover, the success rate was not high. If Yi Chunfeng could refine heaven-rank spirit pills as a rank 2 mystic beast ancestor, it would shock the entire Duhan continent. Chingfeng, don't worry. I won't let anyone disturb you. Yu Nikhang nodded and promised. Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and sat cross-legged on the wooden bed. He adjusted his state while controlling the God-Eater brain to simulate the refining process. There weren't many alchemists in the Duhan continent, and high-level alchemists were even rarer. The reason why Yi Chunfeng was so confident in refining a heaven-rank soul elixir was because of the alchemy fragments in God-Eater's brain. He believed that the fragments in the God-Eater brain were far superior to the alchemy inheritances in the Duhan continent. It was enough for him to refine 3-Orifice Heaven Pill. In about a day's time, Yi Chunfeng had gone through the process of concocting pills over 100 times in his mind. When he felt that the time was right, he took out the cloud horse, red-leafed Sangyo lotus, 1,000-year sundew grass, 10,000-year fruit, 8-eyed toad's demonic core, sea heart spring, and the fiery red true fire cauldron. He even took out a mouthful of heavenly fate water, just in case. Green spiritual fire, concoct pills. The green spiritual fire slowly rose from Yi Chunfeng's palm and enveloped the palm-sized true fire furnace. Instantly, a large amount of red light shone on the surface of the true fire furnace, and the Taotai markings became even clearer. Boom! Yi Chunfeng fiercely slapped the true fire furnace. The lid of the true fire furnace flew up, and a large amount of red flames gushed out of the true fire furnace. The temperature of the entire cultivation room rose sharply. Yunji horse enter. Yi Chunfeng glanced at the 6 spiritual items. First, he threw the main ingredient, the cloud lotus horse, which looked like a small crystal horse, into the true fire furnace. Suddenly, a refreshing medicinal fragrance gushed out from the true fire furnace. The cloud horse that was wrapped in red flames melted, and the impurities in its body were constantly refined by the true fire furnace. Refining impurities was the first step of concocting pills, and it was also the simplest step. However, because Yi Chunfeng was concocting a heaven pill, he could not waste any spiritual energy when refining impurities. Therefore, the difficulty of refining impurities was also very high. Minutes and seconds passed. The cloud lotus horse turned into spirit liquid and sizzled under the true fire furnace's refinement. As the impurities were refined bit by bit, the spirit liquid in the furnace became purer and purer. Finally, it turned into a pigeon egg-sized, milky white spirit liquid that contained powerful medicinal energy. Red-leafed Sangyo Lotus. After successfully refining the cloud lotus horse's spirit liquid, Yi Chunfeng threw the red-leafed Sangyo Lotus into the true fire furnace, where the red flames were rolling, and continued the refinement. The red-leafed Sangyo Lotus spirit energy was obviously weaker than the cloud lotus horse, and the difficulty of refining it was much lower. However, Yi Chunfeng still did not dare to be careless. He focused his mind and constantly formed complicated hand seals to control the true fire furnace to refine the liquid essence. What an exquisite alchemy technique, what an exquisite flame control. Where did Chunfeng learn alchemy from? He can't really be able to concoct a heaven-rank soul pill, right? Looking at Yi Chunfeng's serious expression, Yu Nikhang couldn't help but be attracted by his serious face. She couldn't help but look forward to it. Yu Nikhang originally thought that she understood Yi Chunfeng very well. However, after seeing his exquisite alchemy technique, Yu Nikhang discovered that Yi Chunfeng was a bottomless pit. No one knew how many secrets he was hiding. Soon, the red-leafed Sangyo Lotus turned into a red and black liquid essence. Yi Chunfeng did not hesitate and threw the 1,000-year sundew grass into the true fire furnace. After about a day, Yi Chunfeng successfully refined the cloud lotus horse, red-leafed Sangyo Lotus, 1,000-year sundew grass, and wanxiang fruit into liquid essences. After swallowing half a mouthful of the water of heavenly fate, he recovered the soul power he had consumed. Then, he threw the eight-eyed toad monster core, which was the most difficult to refine, into the true fire furnace. Suddenly, a violent energy exploded within the true fire furnace. The tyrannical energy was like a wild horse that had broken free of its reins, attacking the true fire furnace. The sound of metal colliding rang out within the true fire furnace. Green spirit fire set the universe. Feeling the true fire furnace tremble more and more violently, Yi Chunfeng increased the intensity of the green spirit fire, forcibly stabilizing the true fire furnace and quickly refining the eight-eyed toad monster core. Fortunately, the true fire furnace had reached the rank of top-quality earth rank, and Yi Chunfeng also had the green spirit fire. Slowly, the violent energy released by the eight-eyed toad monster core weakened and finally calmed down. Phew, finally finished refining. After condensing the eight-eyed toad monster core into liquid essence, Yi Chunfeng let out a long sigh of relief. He poured the sea heart source into the true fire furnace and began the most important and most difficult process of condensing the monster core. It was very difficult for an ordinary alchemist to successfully condense the monster core without dozens of years of alchemy experience. However, Yi Chunfeng, who had fused with the God-Eater brain, had an alchemy heritage and experience that no other alchemist in the entire Duhan continent had. Condense. Yi Chunfeng made dozens of complicated hand seals in succession and merged them into the true fire furnace. He controlled the high concentration of the flames within the true fire furnace and condensed the several balls of liquid essence in the true fire furnace. The scorching flames rolled in the furnace, and the several balls of liquid essence began to slowly fuse with each other. Although there were many problems during the fusion process, and more than 10 times, they almost failed at the last minute. Fortunately, Yi Chunfeng discovered them in time and resolved them one by one with the help of his alchemy heritage and experience. After about 2 days, 5 bean-sized, round, and smooth embryonic pills appeared in the true fire furnace. They were emitting black, white, and gray colors. Under the refinement of the rising flames, they spun and released an endless amount of medicinal energy. Finally finished condensing the monster core. Just one more step and I'll succeed. The exhausted Yi Chunfeng swallowed all of the water of heavenly secrets into his stomach. Then, he continued to make hand seals to control the green spiritual flame to refine pills. Smells so good. Chingfeng is really going to refine a heaven-level soul Dan. Smelling the fragrance of the monster core wafting out from the true fire furnace, Yu Nikhang, who had witnessed the miracle in the past few days, couldn't help but hold her breath and look at him in silence. She kept cheering for Yi Chunfeng in her heart. Purring! Yi Chunfeng, who was concentrating on concocting pills, suddenly slapped the boiling hot true fire cauldron, opening the cauldron's lid. A burst of flame, accompanied by a strong medicinal fragrance, gushed out from the true fire cauldron. In the next moment, 5 bean-sized, 3-colored pills flew out of the true fire furnace. Waves of spiritual energy spread out in all directions, causing one's mind to be greatly shaken with just a whiff. It's finally done. Yi Chunfeng, whose face was slightly pale and mentally exhausted, narrowed his eyes and grabbed the 5 bean-sized pills that flew into the air. They were only the size of a bean, but they contained extremely terrifying medicinal energy. A faint smile appeared on his face. After spending about 5 days, Yi Chunfeng, who had broken down several times, finally succeeded in refining the 5 priceless 3-aperture heavenly pills. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You can see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 289. Breakthrough. Level 3 Mystic Beast Sect, Chingfeng, did you really succeed? Smelling the thick medicinal fragrance, and looking at the 5 bean-sized 3-aperture heavenly pills in Yi Chunfeng's palm, Yu Nikhang felt like she was in a dream. At the age of 21, he possessed strength comparable to a peerless king, and he could also refine heaven-level soul pills. Yu Nikhang had no doubt that as long as Yi Chunfeng did not fall, he would definitely be able to stand at the peak of the Duhun continent. Yi Chunfeng's pale face revealed a faint smile as he nodded and said, "Yes, fortunately, I didn't disappoint you. I refined 5 3-orifices heavenly pills. These 2 3-apertures heavenly Dan are for you." Yi Chunfeng generously gave the 2 3-apertures heavenly Dan to Yu Nikhang. Chingfeng, thank you. Yu Nikhang knew the value of the 3-apertures heaven pellet. With these 2 pills, she had no doubt that she could break through to the 6th level of the Mystic Beast Ancestor realm in a short period of time. Nikhang, aren't you touched? Looking at Yu Nichang's excited expression, Yi Chunfeng revealed a faint smile and said, "That's right, I'm so excited that I want to give myself to you. I wonder if you'll give me this chance?" Yu Nichang revealed a mesmerizing smile as she spoke in a sweet voice. Yi Chunfeng, who was in a good mood, glanced at Yu Nichang's perky breasts and said jokingly, "Forget about giving yourself to me. My body can't withstand your ravaging." "Chingfeng, is this place nice?" Catching Yi Chunfeng's gaze, Yu Nikhang was not angry. Instead, she revealed an enchanting smile, straightened her plump body, and asked in a flirtatious manner. Looking at the undulating waves of Yu Nikhang, Yi Chunfeng gulped, not knowing how to answer. "Why would I dare to look but not speak? Do you think I didn't see you sneaking glances at my breasts? Hurry up and confess. Do you like them or not? If you coax me, maybe I'll let you touch them in a moment of happiness and take advantage of you." The moon raiment was like a demoness, constantly tempting Yi Chunfeng. "Touch!" Yi Chunfeng's eyes widened as he looked at Yu Nichang's majestic peaks again. His heart itched. "Can I touch them first before I praise you? I'm afraid you'll go back on your word." Yi Chunfeng, I find that you are becoming more and more shameless. You? Xiao. Yes. Yu Nikheng said with a frustrated expression, which made Yi Chunfeng burst into laughter. After teasing Yu Nikheng for a while, Yi Chunfeng's tensed mind relaxed after refining pills for a long time. He and Yu Nikheng adjusted their breathing and recovered for a while in the room, preparing to consume the 3 apertures heavenly pellet and break through to the 3rd level profound beast ancestor realm, further increasing their strength. Sword puppet, protect us. For the sake of caution, Yi Chunfeng summoned the sword puppet and ordered it to protect him, in case he was disturbed when he was breaking through. Everything was ready. Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nikheng sat at the 2 ends of the training room. Yi Chunfeng took out a 3 apertures heavenly pellet that was emitting a strong medicinal fragrance and threw it into his mouth. Immediately, a large amount of medicinal power was released from Yi Chunfeng's mouth. Like a surging tide, it flowed down his throat and poured into the meridians in his body. Soul-devouring tactic, refine. The medicinal power of the 3 apertures heavenly pellet was released quickly. Yi Chunfeng immediately guarded his mind and ran the soul-devouring tactic over and over again to refine the surging medicinal power in his body and improve his strength. Huff. Huff, affected by the rapid circulation of the soul-devouring incantation, the dense spirit qi in the advanced cultivation room was affected as well. It surged at an extremely fast speed and entered Yi Chunfeng's body, forming a spirit qi vortex above his head. Slowly, Yi Chunfeng's meridians were pushed open by the medicinal power of the 3 apertures heavenly pellet and the rich spirit qi. A tearing pain spread throughout his body, and a large amount of blood seeped out from the pores all over his body. The pain in his body grew stronger and stronger, but Yi Chunfeng, who was in a meditative state, endured it with his unyielding will. He quickly circulated the soul-devouring incantation, devouring the medicinal energy in his body and increasing his strength. After devouring the Wu family elder's spiritual beast, Yi Chunfeng's soul power was almost overflowing. Now that he was refining the 3 apertures heavenly pellet, his soul power quickly reached the overflowing level, and his spiritual beast, the 2-headed blood dragon king, became even stronger. As expected of a heavenly pellet, the medicinal power it contains is too strong. In less than an hour, Yi Chunfeng, who had absorbed 2/3 of the medicinal power of the 3 apertures heavenly pellet, felt that his soul power was overflowing. The 2-headed blood dragon king's soul power had also reached the limit of its realm and could not continue to grow. Level 3 Mystic Beast Ancestor, Breakthrough. When the time was right, Yi Chunfeng did not suppress his realm anymore. He allowed the surging soul power in his body to break through the bottleneck and naturally broke through to the level 3 Mystic Beast Ancestor realm. Phew, I finally broke through. The moment he broke through, 2 sharp lights shot out from Yi Chunfeng's deep eyes. His soul power had increased by several times, and his spiritual beast, the 2-headed blood dragon king, was even more terrifying. If he fought with Sun Lei again, Yi Chunfeng believed that he would definitely have the strength to fight. However, Yi Chunfeng knew that he still couldn't kill a peerless genius like Sun Lei with his current strength. It would only be possible if he broke through to the level 4 Mystic Beast Ancestor realm. After breaking through, Yi Chunfeng patiently ran the soul-devouring tactic to refine the remaining medicinal power in his body and continue to improve his strength. As the 3 apertures heavenly pellet's medicinal power completely merged with Yi Chunfeng's body, his soul power increased by 20%. However, a large amount of pill toxins appeared in his body, causing him to develop a strong resistance. This 3 apertures heavenly pellet has a lot of pill toxins. Sigh, it seems like I have to fight to grind out the pill toxins in my body before I can continue to take the 3 apertures heavenly pellet. Otherwise, it will be a huge waste of its medicinal power. Yi Chunfeng sighed softly in his heart and gave up on refining the second 3 apertures heavenly pellet to improve his strength. He was prepared to wait for Yu Nikhang to wake up from her cultivation and directly head to the third floor of the Tower of Slaughter to fight. Time slowly passed. Yu Nikhang, who was surrounded by demonic qi and enduring the pain, finally refined a 3 apertures heavenly pellet and raised her strength to the peak of the level 5 mystic beast ancestor realm. After refining a 3 apertures heavenly pellet, Yu Nikhang encountered the same situation as Yi Chunfeng. While her strength increased greatly, a large amount of pill toxins appeared in her body. She had no choice but to give up on breaking through to the level 6 mystic beast ancestor realm. Let's go, Nikhang. Let's go to the Tower of Slaughter. Yi Chunfeng's lips curled up slightly and revealed a trace of a wild smile. Don't let those people who are looking for me wait too long. Okay. Yu Nikhang nodded and left the advanced cultivation room with Yi Chunfeng. Through the Tower of Slaughter's transportation array, they directly arrived at the 3rd floor of the Tower of Slaughter and headed directly to the martial arena. When Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nikhang appeared in the martial arena, they immediately attracted the attention of many people. Pairs of cold and ruthless eyes were uniformly cast over and locked onto Yi Chunfeng, who was slowly walking over. Clearly, the high bounty offered by the Wu family had spread throughout the entire Tower of Slaughter. It caused many people to have a strong killing intent towards Yi Chunfeng. They wanted to kill him and use his head to exchange for 100,000 slaughter points. Yi Chunfeng was not afraid of the surrounding pairs of ruthless eyes. He gently leaped up like a large bird and landed on an empty martial arena. He exuded an unparalleled aura and said in a deep voice, Yi Chunfeng is here. Who wants to fight? Mobile reading site, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 290. I'll take on as many as you come. What an arrogant brat! Looking at the invincible Yi Chunfeng and listening to his arrogant voice, the entire arena was in an uproar. Many martial artists who were confident in their strength were infuriated and were eager to challenge him. Let me! Suddenly, a chirping sound rang out. A girl in aqua-blue martial attire, with a curvaceous figure and a pretty face, who was at the peak of the 5th level of the Mystic Beast Ancestor realm, leaped onto the stage first. She held a top-grade Earth-tier longsword in her hand and pointed it at Yi Chunfeng. Her eyes were filled with battle intent. Come down quickly. You are not his match. At this time, a tall woman in a dark green military uniform shouted anxiously. Her skin was as white and delicate as milk, her legs were straight and slender, and her long black hair was gently tied up. She gave off a clean and neat feeling. Cold Moon Sword Art. The blue-robed woman turned a deaf ear to the green-robed woman's shout. She quickly merged with her spirit beast, and an extremely sharp Cold Moon Sword light streaked across the air, carrying a thick chill as it pierced towards Yi Chunfeng's throat. Frightening Soul Finger. The blue-robed woman thrust her sword. Yi Chunfeng did not use any weapon. He only extended his index finger and pressed it towards the Cold Moon Sword light. The moment the frightening soul finger touched the Cold Moon Sword light, a force of more than 700,000 Jin erupted, shattering the Cold Moon Sword light and hitting the longsword in the blue-robed woman's hand. Suddenly, a terrifying rebounding force passed through the long sword and into the blue-robed woman's arm, causing her arm to go numb. Her right hand that was gripping the hilt of her sword trembled. Green Bamboo Shadow. Experiencing the terror of Yi Chunfeng, the blue-robed woman's expression changed slightly. However, she did not retreat due to her pride. Hundreds of green bamboo-like shadows surrounded her body, transforming into sword shadows, and enveloping Yi Chunfeng with an incomparably sharp aura. What a mysterious sword art! Yi Chunfeng was full of praises for this picturesque swordsmanship, which had an excellent artistic conception and did not lose its sharpness, as he watched the sword light sweeping towards him like a green bamboo phantom. "Let's see where you can hide this time." Seeing that Yi Chunfeng was about to be engulfed by the green bamboo-like sword shadows, a cold smile appeared on the blue-clothed woman's cold and arrogant face. She was prepared to continue her attack and defeat Yi Chunfeng in one fell swoop. "Your swordsmanship is not bad, but it's a pity that you're too weak. You're unable to unleash its true power." After saying that, Yi Chunfeng suddenly took a step forward. The aura in his body instantly became fierce. 750,000 jin of strength erupted from his body, causing dense ripples to appear in the air. Cloud-shattering palm. With a palm strike, a terrifying airflow was formed in the air. The cloud-shattering palm strike, which was filled with 750,000 jin of strength, smashed onto the incoming sword shadow, tearing it apart like a hot knife through butter. Then, the palm struck towards the blue-clothed woman, whose expression had changed greatly. "How is this possible?" The blue-clothed woman could not imagine that her strongest move would be so easily torn apart by Yi Chunfeng. Her expression changed greatly as she hastily dodged. Just as she dodged, Yi Chunfeng pointed his finger in the air. The finger sword, which was condensed from perfect sword force, shot out. It swallowed and spat out a sharp sword light as it pierced towards the blue-clothed woman. "Young Master Yi, please be merciful. Yu heir has no ill intentions." Feeling the terror of Yi Chunfeng's finger, the green-clothed woman was so frightened that her face turned pale. She screamed out in alarm. "Chi!" The blue-clothed woman only saw a white flash in front of her eyes. All the hairs on her body stood up, and several strands of her long black hair drifted down with the wind. The finger sword had cut off several strands of the blue-clothed woman's long hair. Yi Chunfeng did not follow up with another attack. Instead, he looked at her calmly. With his current strength, he only needed one move to kill the blue-clothed woman. The reason why he spared her life was because he did not sense any killing intent from the blue-clothed woman. It was obvious that the blue-clothed woman only attacked to learn from each other and not to kill him. "I'll give you one last chance. If you don't admit defeat, then don't blame me for ruthlessly destroying a flower." Yi Chunfeng looked at the pale-faced blue-clothed woman with lingering fear and reminded her without a trace of emotion. I admit defeat." Although she was unwilling, when she recalled the feeling of death, the blue-clothed woman became timid. The fighting intent in her body disappeared without a trace. She tightly bit her moist lips and admitted defeat. She then jumped off the stage in humiliation. When the green-clothed woman saw that Yi Chunfeng had let the blue-clothed woman go, she heaved a sigh of relief and said gratefully, "Many thanks to young Master Yi for showing mercy. We will definitely repay this kindness. Who else wants to fight?" Yi Chunfeng nodded at the green-clothed woman and withdrew his gaze from her tall and slender body. He stood on the stage with his hands behind his back and said in an overbearing manner, "I'll do it." As soon as Yi Chunfeng's words fell, 7 deep voices sounded out one after another. Every one of them was confident in their strength and coveted the reward of 100,000 killing points. They were all eager to kill Yi Chunfeng and go to the Wu family to claim the reward. "I didn't expect that I would be so popular. Since all of you want to kill me, then come at me together. I'll take on all of you." Yi Chunfeng exuded a disdainful aura and said domineeringly, "Are you sure you want to accept the challenge of all 7 of us?" One of them, a gray-robed old man with white hair, a deep aura, and a string of prayer beads around his neck, asked maliciously. He was a peak level 6 mystic beast ancestor. I said, "I'll take on all of you." Yi Chunfeng was fearless and said disdainfully, "Everyone, this Yi Chunfeng's strength is not simple. The best choice is for us to kill him together. After we kill him, we'll split the reward equally. How about it?" The gray-robed old man sneered. His eyes flickered with ruthlessness as he suggested this through voice transmission. "Okay." The remaining 6 people quickly communicated with each other. In the end, they agreed to work together to kill Yi Chunfeng and split the killing points equally. They jumped onto the stage and stood in a row in front of Yi Chunfeng. Too arrogant, this Yi Chunfeng is too arrogant. He actually dares to challenge Ghostwalker and the others. Doesn't he know that these people are only a step away from becoming a level 1 reverse beast king? What an arrogant fellow. I thought that this Yi Chunfeng was a character, but I didn't expect him to be a hothead. How disappointing. Each floor of the Slaughter Pagoda was relatively independent. In addition, the matter of the Wu family elder being killed had been deliberately concealed by the Wu family. Thus, there weren't many people on the third floor who knew about Yi Chunfeng's true strength. Seeing Yi Chunfeng challenge 7 experts by himself, the entire arena was abuzz with discussion. Almost no one was optimistic about him. "Let's go and kill him quickly!" Following the gray-robed old man's roar, the 7 rank 6 mystic beast sect experts attacked at the same time. They fused with their spiritual beasts and used powerful soul skills to attack Yi Chunfeng. 7 powerful soul skills intertwined together, forming a long river of energy. The incomparably fierce energy constantly tore through the air, wanting to destroy Yi Chunfeng. Wrath of divine punishment. Yi Chunfeng didn't dodge the 7 people's soul skills at the same time. Instead, the green spiritual fire, ancient profound ice, and purple spiritual lightning surged out of his body at the same time. It was as if the power of divine punishment met the attack. Rumble. A thunderous sound rang out as the powerful energy collided, producing a destructive force. A terrifying energy storm instantly swept across the entire stage. Space distorted, and the entire arena became as bright as day. A large number of cracks spread across the surface of the stage, and the energy barrier around the stage was almost shattered. PFFF, PFFF, PFFF. Although the gray-robed old man and the other 6 were powerful, their strength was still far from that of a legendary king. When they were attacked by the wrath of divine punishment, which was enough to kill a legendary king, their soul skills were all shattered. Amidst their shocked cries, the energy storm swept over them like a howling gale, destroying their bodies and instantly killing the 7 of them. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button below to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 291. Challenge the King dead. Ghostwalker and the others are all dead. Killing Ghostwalker and the other 3 in one move. Is this Yi Chunfeng really only a level 3 mystic beast ancestor? After witnessing the scene of Yi Chunfeng shattering the battle arena and instantly killing the gray-robed elder and the other 6 people, everyone present was stunned. They stared at him, flabbergasted, as if they had seen a ghost. Too powerful. Sister, that Yi Chunfeng is clearly only a level 3 mystic beast ancestor. Why is his attack power so terrifying? The blue-clothed woman who was the first to challenge Yi Chunfeng was also stunned by the shocking scene before her eyes. She was somewhat glad that she had retreated in the face of difficulties. Otherwise, if she had angered Yi Chunfeng, she was afraid that she would end up like the gray-clothed old man and the others. I've already reminded you that one's cultivation does not represent one's strength. Although this Yi Chunfeng's cultivation is not high, he already possesses the strength to contend with a peerless king-level existence. Otherwise, the Wu family would not have put out a bounty of 100,000 slaughter points for his life. Fortunately, you didn't enrage him. Otherwise, even Big Sister wouldn't have been able to save you. The green-clothed woman took a deep breath. She suppressed the shock in her heart and said with lingering fear, "Who else wants to fight?" After using the wrath of divine punishment and instantly killing the 7 people, Yi Chunfeng circulated the 8 slaughtering Azura art and absorbed the dense death chi in the air, taking away their belongings. Like an unparalleled god of war, He stood proudly on the shattered arena and said domineeringly, "Let's kill them all." Hearing Yi Chunfeng's loud clamor, no one dared to challenge him. The martial artists who had shown killing intent towards Yi Chunfeng because of the high bounty were so scared that their minds trembled. They didn't dare to look him in the eye and quickly fled the arena. Just as Yi Chunfeng was relying on his absolute strength to intimidate the martial artists on the third floor of the Tower of Slaughter, Yu Nikhang also used the heavenly demon dance art to obtain 2 consecutive victories. At the same time, in a luxurious room in the rear hall of the arena, the Wu family Grand Elder and the others witnessed the scene of Yi Chunfeng using the wrath of divine punishment and instantly killing the gray-clothed elder and the others through a crystal that was as smooth as a mirror. "Great Elder, we haven't seen each other for a few days. This Yi Chunfeng has become even stronger. If we allow him to continue growing, I'm afraid he will really become a nightmare for our Wu family." The third elder of the Wu family frowned as he spoke. He was dressed in a dark blue robe with cloud patterns. He sensed a strong aura of danger from Yi Chunfeng. "Of course I know that he will be a great threat to my Wu clan. However, he is on the 3rd floor of the Tower of Slaughter, while the Patriarch and I are on the 7th floor. We cannot kill him without restraint." Thinking about how the Tower of Massacre strictly forbade killing people above the level, Grand Elder Wu felt a sense of helplessness. "Continue to increase the bounty. Whoever can kill him will be rewarded with 300,000 slaughter points by my Wu family." Great Elder Wu helplessly sighed. He could only increase the bounty to deal with Yi Chunfeng. "Sir Yi, no one dares to challenge you today. How about you come and fight again tomorrow?" Yi Chunfeng straightened his back and stood on the stage filled with the thick stench of blood. He waited for the time it took for a stick of incense to burn, but no one dared to challenge him. Helpless, a middle-aged woman with a voluptuous figure wearing a fiery red dress and a thick layer of makeup on her face walked out and said politely, "Let me challenge you." "That's good. Once my friend's match is over, we will leave." Yi Chunfeng also knew that the scene of him using the wrath of divine retribution to instantly kill the gray-clothed old man and the others was far too shocking. Today, no one would challenge him. He patiently waited outside for Yu Nichang's match. "Sir Yi, do you have time? Us 2 sisters would like to invite you to a meal to thank you for showing mercy to you." As Yi Chunfeng was waiting for Yu Nikhang, the green-clothed woman walked over by herself. She looked at his cold face and sweetly smiled as she softly asked, "My time is limited. There's no need for a meal." Yi Chunfeng glanced at the green-clothed woman with a tall figure and fair skin. She had a faint smile on her delicate face. He gently shook his head and tactfully declined. In the perilous Tower of Slaughter, there were many people who wanted his life. Yi Chunfeng didn't want to waste any unnecessary time. He also didn't want to have any connection with the green-clothed woman. "Since it's like this, we won't delay Sir Ye's time. Please keep this jade slip well. It might be useful to you." Hearing Yi Chunfeng's refusal, the green-clothed woman who wanted to befriend him revealed a trace of disappointment. However, she didn't insist. She gave a precious jade slip to Yi Chunfeng and turned to leave. Jade slip. Looking at the jade slip handed over by the green-clothed woman, Yi Chunfeng frowned. He hesitated for a moment before releasing his soul force to examine the jade slip. This jade slip records a detailed introduction of the Tower of Slaughter from the 1st to the 6th floor. Yi Chunfeng raised his eyebrows. He didn't expect the jade slip given to him by the green-clothed woman to be so precious. He quickly browsed through it. "So the fastest way to pass the Tower of Slaughter is to challenge the king of each floor. As long as you defeat the king of each floor, you can directly obtain all the slaughter points on that floor and have the qualifications to ascend to the next floor." As he browsed through the jade slip, Yi Chunfeng obtained an important piece of information from the jade slip. This jade slip even has an introduction of the king of each floor. The king of the 3rd floor is called Lian Hua. He's a peak level 6 profound beast sect expert with half a demonic beast bloodline. The king of the 4th floor is Sin Lei, a level 1 defiant beast king who attacked me before. The king of the 5th floor is an eternal enemy, a peak level 1 defiant beast king, the blood-slaughtering sword king. The king of the 6th floor is actually a mature level 4 heavenly beast dragon sparrow with the ability to transform. A mature level 4 heavenly beast is comparable to a peak level 2 defiant beast king. It's really hard to imagine what kind of strength the kings of the 7th to 10th floors of the Tower of Slaughter have. Yi Chunfeng muttered to himself. After understanding the strength of the kings of the 6th floor and below, Yi Chunfeng was shocked by the overall strength of the Tower of Slaughter. Strength, I need to increase my strength as soon as possible. Otherwise, the 5th floor of the Tower of Slaughter will be my limit. Furthermore, with the Wu family's high bounty, my life could be in danger at any time. Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and decided to himself. Yes, in 3 days, the 5th floor of the Tower of Slaughter will hold an auction for the cultivators of the 5th floor. After browsing to the end, Yi Chunfeng obtained another important piece of information and revealed a strong interest. However, as he was on the 3rd floor of the Tower of Slaughter, he would only have the qualifications to participate in the auction if he reached the 5th floor. Looks like I have to hurry up and challenge the Tower of Slaughter. Otherwise, I will miss the auction for the 5th floor of the Tower of Slaughter, Yi Chunfeng said in his heart. About 2 hours later, Yu Nikhang, who had used the dancing heavenly demonic art and was covered in demonic qi, defeated her opponent with an overwhelming advantage, obtaining 4 consecutive victories. After 4 consecutive victories, no one dared to challenge her again. In the end, Yu Nikhang also ended the day early. I want to challenge the Lion Fire King tomorrow. I wonder if you can help me arrange it? Before leaving, Yi Chunfeng found the person in charge of the arena, the voluptuous red-dressed woman, and asked, "Young Master Yi, are you sure you want to challenge the Lion Fire King? With half of his demonic beast blood, his battle prowess is comparable to a peerless king." The red-dressed woman asked with some surprise. "I'm sure. I'll have to trouble you to arrange it." Yi Chunfeng nodded and said, "All right then. Since young Master Yi has made up his mind, my arena will arrange it for young Master Yi as soon as possible. We'll inform you when the time is right," the red-dressed woman said with a nod, as she looked at Yi Chunfeng's arrogant face and thought of his astonishing battle prowess. And Yi Chunfeng nodded. He didn't stay for long and left the battle arena with Yu Nikhang. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 292. Surrounded by 5 legendary Kingson, the 3rd floor of the Tower of Slaughter, there was a beautiful red maple forest. Within the forest was an extremely luxurious courtyard that occupied an extremely large area. This courtyard was where King Lion Fire cultivated on the 3rd floor of the Tower of Slaughter. To be able to have an independent courtyard in the best location of the Tower of Slaughter, one could see Lion Fire's status on the 3rd floor. At this moment, the tall and sturdy golden-haired Lion Fire was lying comfortably on a rocking chair covered in thick beast skin. 2 beautiful women with fair skin and wearing thin skirts knelt on either side of him. They stretched out their soft hands and gently massaged his thighs. "Lion Fire, you're so comfortable." At this moment, the person in charge of the arena, the voluptuous woman in a red dress, suddenly barged into his room. Seeing Lion Fire's expression of enjoyment, she revealed a faint smile. "Pink, how come you have the time to come here? Did you miss me?" Lion Fire opened his eyes and looked at the voluptuous woman in a red dress who exuded a fatal temptation. His eyes immediately revealed a scorching look as he playfully spoke. "Lion Fire, you're thinking too much. I came here today to bring you a piece of news." The woman in a red dress ignored Lion Fire's scorching gaze and sat across from him. She crossed her slender legs and spoke indifferently. What news? Lion Fire frowned slightly and asked. Yi Chunfeng wants to challenge you, said the woman in a red dress. Yi Chunfeng? That Yi Chunfeng from the Wu family who put out a bounty of 100,000 slaughter points? Lion Hua's eyes lit up and he suddenly sat up. He waved his hand and asked the two women in short skirts to retreat. Then, he asked in high spirit. Yes, that's him. The woman in a red dress nodded and said, however, his life has already risen to 300,000 slaughter points. Are you interested in dealing with him? 300,000 slaughter points? This kid's life is so valuable. Lion Fire's eyes lit up even more. Although he was the king of the third floor of the Tower of Slaughter, he still lacked slaughter points. If he had 300,000 slaughter points, he was completely confident in breaking through to the King realm. The Wu family had no choice. That Yi Chunfeng's strength has already exceeded their expectations. Today in the arena, that Yi Chunfeng only used one move to instantly kill Ghost Walker and 7 others. The red-dressed woman did not conceal Yi Chunfeng's battle prowess and told Lion Fire about what had happened in the arena. What? He only used one move to kill Ghost Walker and the others? Did you see it with your own eyes? Upon hearing this news, Lion Fire's arrogant face revealed a look of shock. After all, even he couldn't insta-kill Ghost Walker and the others. I saw it with my own eyes. That Yi Chunfeng is really scary. The woman in red nodded. Looking at Lion Hua's increasingly gloomy face, she asked, What's wrong? Are you scared? Pink, do you really want me to fight? Lion Fire frowned and stared at the woman in red with his bell-sized eyes. It's not me who wants you to fight. It's First Elder Hua who wants you to fight. The corners of the red-dressed woman's mouth rose slightly, her alluring red lips forming an alluring arc as she slowly said, Why? Did that Yi Chunfeng offend First Elder Hua? Lion Fire asked in surprise. Great Elder Hua did not tell me the exact reason. However, if you are willing to fight, Great Elder Hua can lend you the top-grade Earth-tier Shield of Hell's Gate. Furthermore, after the matter is over, Great Elder Hua will reward you with another 300,000 slaughter points. The woman in red shook her head and said, Really? Lion Fire's bell-sized eyes widened as he asked in surprise. Do you think the First Elder would lie to you? The red-dressed woman asked in return. All right. Tell that Yi Chunfeng to wash his neck and wait for me. Tomorrow I will definitely wring his head off. When he thought of Yi Chunfeng's 600,000 slaughter points and the Earth's Gate Shield's defensive power, Lion Fire agreed without hesitation. Tomorrow morning, I will arrange a duel between you and Yi Chunfeng. I hope you can win. As she spoke, the red-dressed woman took out the dark gold Earth's Gate shield from her universe ring. It was engraved with a large number of runes and was extremely heavy. She handed it over to Lion Fire. Before I conquer you, I will not die. Lion Fire opened his mouth and confidently said, After you kill that Yi Chunfeng, I will give you a chance. After she finished speaking, the red-dressed woman did not stay for long. She stood up and left with a refreshing fragrance. Nick Hang, the Tower of Slaughter is far more complicated than we imagined. Moreover, our current situation is very dangerous. I've decided to send you away from Slaughter City and wait for me at the Ancient Ink Merchant Alliance on 3-Star Island. After gaining a deeper understanding of the Tower of Slaughter, Yi Chunfeng felt increasingly uneasy. After comprehensive consideration, he decided to send Nick Hang away first. This way, if there was any danger, he would have a chance to escape with his own strength and trump cards. Qing Feng, since the Tower of Slaughter is so dangerous, why don't we leave together? Although Yi Chunfeng's battle prowess was comparable to a peerless king, there was no lack of high-level reverse beast kings in Slaughter City. Nick Hang was worried about his safety and suggested softly, Don't worry, Nick Hang. I know what I'm doing. Once I smell danger, I will leave immediately. Yi Chunfeng was very interested in the auction on the 5th floor of the Tower of Slaughter. Moreover, he had not seen the 9-dragon jade annulus yet. He decided to take the risk and stay for a while longer. Alright, let's go. After he finished speaking, Yi Chunfeng took Yu Nikhang through the teleportation array and left the Tower of Slaughter. They quickly headed for the harbor outside the Tower of Slaughter City. When Yi Chunfeng took Yu Nikhang out of the Tower of Slaughter and headed for the harbor, they were discovered by many spies. The news immediately reached the ears of Xue Kuluo, the Wu family head, and the others. Are they leaving? Xue Kuluo was surprised when he heard the news. He immediately ordered people to keep an eye on Yi Chunfeng's movements and see if he was really leaving the Tower of Slaughter City. If Yi Chunfeng could leave, that would be the outcome that he wanted to see the most. While Xue Kuluo ordered people to keep an eye on Yi Chunfeng's movements, the 5 peerless kings of the Wu family all moved out. Under the lead of the Wu family head, they quickly headed for the Tower of Slaughter City. They wanted to kill Yi Chunfeng outside the Tower of Slaughter City to prevent future trouble. Nikhang, don't hesitate. Leave the Tower of Slaughter City quickly. The two of them quickly arrived at the harbor where the sea breeze blew. Yi Chunfeng, who had sensed danger, quickly had the moon raiment board the ship. Qingfeng, you have to come back and find me. Yu Nikhang looked at Yi Chunfeng reluctantly. Her eyes were filled with worry. Don't worry, Nikhang. I'll definitely come back to 3-Star Island to find you in half a year at the latest, Yi Chunfeng promised as he looked at Yu Nichang's charming face. Okay, I'll wait for you. Yu Nikhang bit her red lips tightly as she looked at Yi Chunfeng with tears in her eyes. She started the ship. Yi Chunfeng let out a sigh of relief as he watched the ship sail towards the blue sea at an extremely fast speed. He slowly turned around and looked at the 5 kings of the Wu family flying towards him. He revealed a fearless smile, and like an unyielding war god, he slowly walked towards them with heavy steps. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click Save at the bottom to record this book. You will see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 293. Intimidating the Wu family. Yi Chunfeng, I have been waiting for you to leave the Slaughter Tower for a long time. Today, I will make sure that you will not be able to escape. The Wu family head, Wu Tuahong, was wearing a black robe with golden edges. He was tall and had a dignified appearance. He looked at Yi Chunfeng coldly and said with a murderous look, Haha, since I dare to stay, I am naturally not afraid of your Wu family's revenge. If your Wu family wants to be annihilated by Xingluo Sky City, then go ahead. Yi Chunfeng laughed loudly and said arrogantly, Impossible, you are definitely not a disciple of Xingluo Sky City. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's words, Wu Tuahong and the others' expressions changed slightly. However, thinking of the agreement between the Slaughter City and Xingluo Sky City, Wu Tuahong did not completely believe Yi Chunfeng's fabricated identity. It's up to you whether to believe it or not. If you want to make a move, then hurry up. Otherwise, I will return to the Slaughter Tower. Yi Chunfeng laughed coldly as he watched the 5 kings of the Wu clan walk towards the massacre inner city with an arrogant expression. Although Yi Chunfeng's actions were very risky, he indeed had no other choice. If he could not pretend to be a disciple of Xingluo Sky City and intimidate the 5 kings of the Wu family, then with their strength, they could easily catch up to Yu Nichang's ship. At that time, their situation would be even more dangerous. Family head, do you believe that he is a disciple of Xingluo Sky City? The head elder of the Wu family looked at Yi Chunfeng's back and transmitted his voice to Wu Tuahong, who had a gloomy expression, and asked. It could be said that now was the best time to kill Yi Chunfeng. If they missed this opportunity, then it would be difficult to kill him in the future. Xingluo Sky City. Thinking of the strength of Xingluo Sky City, Wu Tuahong's clenched fists loosened several times. If Yi Chunfeng really came from Xingluo Sky City, not to mention the Wu family. Even Slaughter City would not dare to harm him. Moreover, Wu Tuahong also realized that the Wu clan's relationship with Yi Chunfeng was entirely due to Xue Kuluo's orders. From the fact that Xue Kuluo himself didn't dare to directly confront Yi Chunfeng, it was highly likely that Yi Chunfeng's identity was real. Great Elder, pass down my order. Withdraw the bounty my Wu family issued, and restrict my Wu family's disciples from clashing with that Yi Chunfeng. Wu Tuahong took a deep breath. In the end, he chose to believe in Yi Chunfeng's identity and helplessly ordered. The news of Yi Chunfeng using his identity as a disciple of Xingluo Heaven City to intimidate the Wu family immediately reached Xue Kuluo's ears. Trash, what a bunch of trash! Xue Kuluo's face darkened when he learned that the Wu family wanted to stay out of this. He said in a low voice, "Pass down my order to Wu Tuahong. Tell him not to withdraw the bounty. Otherwise, I will make his Wu family disappear from Slaughter City." Phew, the Wu family has finally been intimidated. Nichong's ship should be far away by now. After successfully returning to the third floor of the Slaughter Tower, Yi Chunfeng let out a sigh of relief. As long as he was in the Slaughter Tower, the Wu family would be bound by the rules of the Slaughter Tower. They would not be able to kill him as they pleased. Yi Chunfeng went to the advanced cultivation room that he had rented earlier. He took out the items he had obtained from killing the gray-robed elder and the others and checked his gains. 86,000 slaughter points, 3 low-grade heaven-class soul skills, 12 top-grade earth-class soul skills, 8 top-grade earth-class weapons, 21 high-grade earth-class weapons, 321 high-grade soul crystals, and more than 650,000 mid-grade soul crystals. Cloud Pegasus Horse, another Cloud Pegasus Horse. Yi Chunfeng was very satisfied with his gains from killing the gray-robed elder and the others. He was especially happy that he had obtained another Cloud Pegasus Horse. Yi Chunfeng moved the items left behind by the gray-clad old man and the others into his universe ring. Then, he started to meditate and wait for news from the woman in red. Before long, the identity medallion on his body vibrated restlessly. Through the identity medallion, the woman in the red dress informed him that he was going to have a duel with Lion Hua tomorrow morning. Although Lion Hua had not broken through to the reverse Beast King realm, as the king of the third floor, Yi Chunfeng was completely confident that he had the strength to contend against a peerless king. He did not dare to be careless. He removed all distracting thoughts and absorbed the rich spiritual qi in the cultivation room to adjust his condition in preparation for tomorrow's battle. The news of the battle between Yi Chunfeng and Lion Hua swept through the entire third floor of the Tower of Slaughter like a hurricane. It aroused the interest of almost all the cultivators. They all rushed to the martial arena, wanting to witness the battle. As for the red-robed woman, she deliberately raised the price of the spectators. However, this did not cause any dissatisfaction. Soon, the entire martial arena was filled to the brim. Those who came late could only stand and watch. "Look, it's King Lionhua. I didn't expect him to come so early. It seems he attaches great importance to today's competition." As the appointed time approached, a tall and sturdy figure appeared in the martial arena. He wore a black robe and snakeskin boot. His long golden hair cascaded down his back, giving off an extremely oppressive feeling. Lion Hua was the first to appear. What a terrifying, oppressive aura. If I'm not wrong, King Lion Hua has already completed 69 consecutive victories on the third floor of the Slaughter Tower. And, if Lion Hua defeats Yi Chunfeng today, he will have completed 70 consecutive victories. Just thinking about it makes one feel fearful. Looking at the majestic lion Hua standing in the center of the martial arena, many people were shocked by his astonishing strength and continuously cheered for him. Hearing the surrounding screams and cheers, Lion Hua enjoyed this feeling very much and revealed a smile. Suddenly, a proud and aloof figure appeared in the noisy martial arena. Although Lion Hua had never seen Yi Chunfeng before, when he saw this proud and aloof figure, Lion Hua's gaze turned sharp. It's Yi Chenfeng. He finally came. I can't wait to see the battle between them. Yes, today's battle will definitely be spectacular. Just thinking about it makes me excited. Whoosh! Yi Chenfeng walked to the center of the martial arena and lightly tapped the ground with the tip of his foot. His advancing figure suddenly blurred and appeared on the martial arena in a flash. He looked at the tall and sturdy Lion Hua. Wang. The battle between Yi Chenfeng and Lion Hua was not a small matter. In order to avoid unnecessary casualties, the red-robed woman ordered people to activate the highest defense of the martial arena. 10 layers of defensive light barriers rose at the same time and enveloped the entire martial arena. I didn't expect that you would actually dare to challenge me. It seems like you are very confident in your own strength. Sensing Yi Chenfeng's cultivation, Lion Hua was slightly shocked. He was shocked that a rank 3 mystic beast ancestor could actually kill Ghostly Walker and the other 6 in one strike. I have always been very confident in my own strength. Yi Chenfeng's lips slightly curled, revealing a proud and aloof smile as he said domineeringly, "Haha, you are indeed an interesting person. However, I'm afraid that the result of this battle will disappoint you. Today, I will step on your corpse and complete the 70-win streak. Then, I will take your head to claim the bounty." Lion Hua faced the sky and laughed loudly as he said ferociously, "Perhaps your wish will not come true today." Yi Chenfeng replied calmly as the mid-grade heaven artifact, gigantic fault heavenly sword, appeared in his hand. Heaven artifact. Seeing the gigantic fault heavenly sword in Yi Chenfeng's hand, Lion Hua's eyes lit up. As the king of the 3rd floor of the Tower of Slaughter, he didn't have a single heaven artifact. If he could obtain the gigantic fault heavenly sword, his offensive power would increase by several fold. Even if he couldn't break through to the reverse beast king realm, he was confident that he could kill a peerless king. Yi Chenfeng, no matter how terrifying your offensive power is, today's victory will belong to me. The universe ring on Lion Hua's hand lit up, and he took out a hammer that weighed several tens of thousands of kilograms and was full of sharp spikes. It was a top-grade Earth-tier hammer. Then, he pointed it at Yi Chenfeng and said with killing intent, "You really talk a lot of nonsense." Yi Chenfeng shook his head as boundless red light shone from his body. The 3,000-meter-long two-headed blood dragon king appeared and hovered above his head like a small mountain. Ha! As Yi Chenfeng roared, he instantly fused with the two-headed blood dragon king and slashed at Lion Hua with a sharp aura and terrifying dragon might. Mobile reading home, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click Save at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 294. Yi Chenfeng vs. Lion Hua, Instant Kill Sword. Yi Chenfeng, who was moving at high speed, suddenly emitted a perfect sword aura. In the blink of an eye, his entire body fused with the gigantic fault heavenly sword, turning into an incomparably sharp sword light that pierced towards Lion Hua's chest. What a fast sword! Lion Hua's pupils constricted, and the muscles on his arms suddenly expanded. He instinctively threw out his spiked heavy hammer, which carried a powerful destructive force as it met Yi Chenfeng's instant kill strike head-on. Buzz! An ear-piercing sound of collision rang out as sparks flew. Yi Chenfeng's sword pierced the spiked hammer, creating a large amount of sparks. After the instant kill sword was blocked by Lion Hua, Yi Chenfeng immediately circulated the 8 Sha Azura Art and 6 Meridian Divine Shield, pouring his power into the 20,000 gene gigantic fault heavenly sword. The terrifying sword light continued to emit as it continuously attacked the spiked hammer in Lion Hua's hand. The strength of over 350,000 gene forcefully pushed Lion Hua's huge body back. Relying on absolute strength to push Lion Hua back, Yi Chenfeng followed up with another attack. Streaks of sword aura wantonly and incomparably sharp sword light continuously pierced out, engulfing Lion Hua like a violent storm, suppressing his offensive and forcing him to continuously retreat. King Lion Hua is being suppressed right from the start. Worthy of being an expert that killed 7 people in one move. Don't worry, Lion Hua was chosen by the Slaughter King to become the king of the 3rd floor of the Slaughter Tower. His foundation is unimaginably deep. Moreover, the blood of a half-demon flows in his body. It will be too difficult for Yi Chunfeng to defeat him. 10,000 Jin shattering hammer. With his attack suppressed, Lion Hua, who had retreated to the edge of the arena, let out a roar. The soul force in his body erupted like a flood, and a meteor-like shadow of a hammer flew out. Carrying the power of the breaking armaments, it forcibly broke through Yi Chunfeng's continuous attacks and smashed towards him. Phantom shift. A light flashed under Yi Chunfeng's feet as 9 afterimages appeared in an instant. He easily dodged Lion Hua's hammer shadow and launched a cloud-shattering palm at him. Rumble. Under the palm imprint that contained 750,000 Jin of force, the air violently fluctuated. The terrifying cloud-collapsing palm imprint imprinted on Lion Hua's chest at an astonishing speed. Break. As the collapsing cloud palm arrived, Lion Hua swung his heavy hammer and smashed it, shattering the collapsing cloud palm. Star Slayer. Seizing the opportunity when Lion Hua shattered the collapsing cloud palm, Yi Chunfeng's surging slaughter power erupted from within his body, amplifying his attack power. A star-like sword light tore through the surging air and once again slashed towards Lion Hua. Boom! A powerful explosive force exploded in front of Lion Fire. Although Lion Fire managed to block the star-slashing sword light with his spiked hammers, the destructive force of the star-slashing sword light knocked him back again. Purple Spirit Lightning. Yi Chunfeng once again gained the upper hand in terms of offense. Using Form Displacement Phantom, he closed in on Lion Hua in a flash. The extremely destructive purple spiritual lightning surged out of his body, turning into a field of violent lightning as it bombarded Lion Hua. Rumble, 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 a deafening sound of thunder resounded as the endless violent thunderstorm forcibly shattered Lion Hua's body defense, destroying his flesh and sending him flying, crashing heavily onto the ground. Yi Chunfeng, you have truly infuriated me. Lion Hua, who was covered in wounds, quickly crawled up from the ground and roared like a mad lion. Demonic Beast Bloodline, Ignite. Having experienced Yi Chunfeng's frightening strength, Lion Hua rapidly ignited the half-demonic beast bloodline flowing in his body. A malevolent lion head appeared on his chest as his strength climbed to the peak. Lion Hua, who had ignited his demonic beast bloodline, was the most frightening, and now he had the strength to kill ordinary peerless kings. As Lion Hua ignited his demonic beast bloodline and his strength soared, Yi Chunfeng did not retreat. A soaring blood light surged out of his body like a great river, recklessly surging. Slaughter Halo, Attack Amplitude, Critical Blood. With a slash of his sword, rolling blood light dyed the air. The sword light condensed from the perfect sword aura shot out, aggressively sweeping towards Lion Hua. Boom! As the critical blood slash approached, Lion Hua clenched his spiky hammer tightly and ruthlessly smashed down, forming a frightening shockwave. Dense water ripples appeared in the air as the hammer shattered critical blood's sword light. After igniting his demonic beast bloodline, this Lion Hua's strength has indeed increased by a lot. Yi Chunfeng looked at Lion Hua, whose demonic power was wanton and ferocious. A light flashed under his feet as he erupted with 750,000 Jin of strength and continued to attack. Rumble, 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 the two clashed again and again, stirring up endless sparks. A large amount of energy halos bloomed in the air like flowers. The sound produced by the collision of the two large forces was like a large bell that appeared between heaven and earth. It shook the eardrums of the spectators in the stands, making them feel extremely uncomfortable. Ancient Profound Ice Freeze. When the two's battle reached its climax, the ancient profound ice suddenly gushed out of Yi Chunfeng's body and froze Lian Hua's legs, interrupting his attack rhythm. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng slashed out with his sword. The perfect sword aura gushing out was like a long river, turning into an incomparably sharp sword light, slashing towards Lian Hua's chest. Due to the extreme speed of this sword, Lian Hua, whose legs were frozen by the ancient profound ice, was unable to dodge. Just as his chest was about to be hit by this swift sword, a dark golden earthgate shield suddenly appeared in Lian Hua's hand, forcibly blocking Yi Chunfeng's sword attack. A top-grade earth tool shield. Looking at the earthgate shield in Lian Hua's hand, Yi Chunfeng couldn't help but frown. He had never thought that Lian Hua would have such a trump card. Under normal circumstances, Yi Chunfeng could rely on the gigantic Fault Heavenly Sword's attack power to break through the Earthgate shield. However, Yi Chunfeng's cultivation realm was too low, so he couldn't bring out the true power of a heaven tool. Thus he couldn't help but feel a little troubled when Lian Hua brought out the Earthgate shield. Yi Chunfeng, this match can end now. After seeing the defensive power of the Earthgate shield, Lian Hua's heart calmed down. He looked at Yi Chunfeng with a ferocious expression and said arrogantly, "What? A broken shield gave you so much confidence?" As he spoke, the green spirit fire, ancient frost spirit water, and purple spirit lightning appeared on Yi Chunfeng's body and quickly gathered above his head. This move again? This Yi Chunfeng is going to use his strongest killing move. I wonder if Lian Hua can block it with the shield in his hand? If he can block Yi Chunfeng's move, I reckon that Yi Chunfeng won't be able to reverse the situation. Seeing that Yi Chunfeng was about to use the wrath of divine punishment, the audience in the stands held their breaths and didn't even blink. Come on, Yi Chunfeng. Let's see if your attack is stronger or my defense is stronger. The moment the three spirit items gathered, Lian Hua also felt fear. However, he knew that he had no way out. He continued to pour his soul power into the Earthgate shield to activate its strongest defense. Wrath of Divine Punishment. The three colorful energy streams blasted out like meteors, carrying astonishing destructive power. It was like a divine punishment had descended and bombarded Lian Hua, who was gritting his teeth. Defend. As the wrath of divine punishment blasted over, Lian Hua held the Earthgate shield in his hand and defended with all his might. Boom! An earth-shattering explosion resounded and reverberated throughout the 9 heavens. The destructive energy radiance was like a huge wave, engulfing the entire battle arena. The incomparably hard battle arena was filled with cracks. The terrifying energy storm struck the battle arena. The 10 layers of energy barrier around the battle arena trembled violently. Cracks appeared on the surface of the barrier, as if it could shatter at any time. After witnessing the destructive power of the wrath of divine punishment once again, the audience in the stands still felt fear and trepidation. The arena, which had been noisy just a moment ago, became completely silent in an instant, leaving only the wanton roar of the destructive storm. Yes, I blocked it. Yi Chunfeng, who had expended a lot of energy, saw Lian Hua holding the Earthgate shield in full defense amidst the destructive storm. The wanton energy was almost completely neutralized by the Earthgate shield's powerful defense. Yi Chunfeng, I've already said that today's victory will belong to me. Lian Hua, who was holding the Earthgate shield to block the attack of the wrath of divine punishment, revealed an arrogant expression and shouted loudly with blood flowing out of the corner of his mouth. It was as if the scales of victory had tilted toward him. Mobile reading home, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 295. Is that so? I would like to see how many times you can withstand the wrath of divine punishment. Yi Chunfeng looked at the arrogant lion fire. With a thought, the ancient mystic ice, green spirit fire, and purple spirit lightning surged out of his body and quickly gathered. A large number of energy halos fluctuated, and dense ripples appeared in the air. Although the Earthgate shield could withstand the wrath of divine punishment, the destructive power of the wrath of divine punishment still caused Lionfire to feel a lingering fear. When he saw the energy cluster rapidly condensing above Yi Qinfeng's head, Lionfire's expression changed drastically. A powerful air current was generated within his body. Lion King's roar. Lionfire roared, and endless air currents surged out of his body, forming a ferocious lion head. It roared at the sky and charged at Yi Qinfeng. Wrath of divine punishment, destroy. When the Lion King's roar arrived, Yi Qinfeng immediately controlled the destructive energy gathered by the three spiritual items to collide with it. Boom, 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 boom. The two powerful energies collided, and thunderous booms echoed above the stage. The terrifying energy was like the wrath of a god, destroying everything in the world. After resisting the wrath of divine punishment for 3 breaths, the Lion King's roar formed by the Yao beast's bloodline was destroyed. The destructive energy was like a rushing river as it ferociously slammed into the pale-faced Lionfire. Earthgate Shield, the strongest defense. Lionfire felt his soul tremble when he saw the destructive energy whistling towards him. He spat out several mouthfuls of Yao Beast's blood on the Earthgate shield, which was overflowing with a dark golden radiance, stimulating the shield's defensive power. Boom! The wrath of divine retribution exploded on the Earth's gate shield. The destructive power released in the air caused the entire arena to blur and distort. Endless gales and energy howled as they crazily attacked the Earth's gate shield. Lionhua's face turned red from the shockwaves as he continuously retreated. Kacha! Kacha! The 10 layers of defensive light shields around the arena were hit by the remaining power of the wrath of God's punishment. Dense cracks appeared on them once again, and 3 layers of extremely strong defensive energy light shields were directly shattered. The destructive power released by the wrath of God's punishment wreaked havoc for more than 10 breaths of time before gradually disappearing. The incomparably hard arena became a mess. Lionhua, who bore the brunt of the wrath of God's punishment, was sent flying and fell onto the shattered arena. Pink, who do you think will have the last laugh in this competition? A tall middle-aged man in a dark green robe with a large number of totem tattoos all over his body walked to the side of the tall woman in a red dress and asked in a low voice. This green-robed man was the person in charge of the 4th floor of the Tower of Slaughter. He was a level 1 defiant beast king with a green soul. I can't tell right now. If that Yi Qinfeng can continue to use such a terrifying attack, then even Lionfire with the Earthgate shield won't be able to withstand it. If he can't sustain it, then the scales of victory will tip in Lionfire's favor. The woman in red whispered. I feel that Yi Qinfeng has a higher chance of winning. However, if Yi Qinfeng wants to kill Lionfire, will you stop him? Green Soul's deep eyes emitted a dim light as he looked at Yi Qinfeng's aloof figure and slowly asked. Why should I stop him? The woman in red coldly replied. He is after all the king of your floor. If he dies, it will be a loss to my slaughter city. Green Soul helplessly said. This is a life and death battle. If he dies, then he can only blame himself for not being strong enough. The woman in red said without a trace of emotion. She didn't care about Lionfire's life or death. I already said that I will be the winner of this battle. The pale-faced Lionhua crawled up from the ground and spat out a mouthful of blood. He looked at Yi Qinfeng, who was panting heavily, and roared. Then, he smashed his spiked hammer at him. He wanted to take advantage of Yi Qinfeng's weakened state to kill him in one go. Lionfire's murderous aura surged. Yi Qinfeng immediately swallowed the heavenly fate water that he had kept in his mouth. In an instant, his exhausted soul power was recovered. 2 killing halos appeared behind him once again. A terrifying killing force spread out, causing others to tremble. You are too naive. Yi Qinfeng sneered. Several of his trump cards erupted at the same time. perfect sword aura, killing force, and 350,000 gene of strength were all poured into the gigantic tower heavenly sword, activating 81 offensive runes. 4 slaughter styles, eternal night. With a single strike, a dazzling black warship soared into the sky. It was as if it was going to split the heaven and earth apart. It disdainfully slashed at Lionfire, whose expression had changed greatly. Feeling the terror of Yi Qinfeng's sword, Lionfire felt as if he had fallen into an ice cellar. His limbs were numb. He didn't dare to take it head-on. He quickly used the Earthgate shield to defend. Gotcha! The Earthgate shield was attacked by the Eternal Night warship, which was comparable to a low-grade Dao skill. Cracks immediately appeared on its surface. The powerful sword aura passed through the shield and into Lionfire's arm. His strong arm was shattered and a large amount of blood spurted out. After using the 4 slaughter styles, Eternal Night to push Lionfire back, Yi Qinfeng's feet flashed. He instantly appeared in front of Lionfire, not giving him any chance to take a breather. Streaks of killing force, perfect sword aura, and 350,000 gene of strength continuously attacked the Earthgate shield, suppressing Lionfire. With his attacks completely suppressed, more and more cracks appeared on the Earthgate shield. Lionfire's heart sank to the bottom. He had never dreamt that Yi Qinfeng would be so powerful. He was completely not his opponent. However, he didn't completely accept his fate. Facing Yi Qinfeng's powerful attacks, Lionfire, who had retreated to the edge of the shattered stage, decided to fight with all his might. Demonic beast bloodline, burn all of it! With his life hanging by a thread, Lionfire didn't hesitate to burn all of his demonic beast bloodline, erupting with his strongest power. Although burning all of his demonic beast bloodline would result in a terrifying aftereffect, Lionfire knew that if he didn't fight with all his might, the same day next year would be his death anniversary. Fight with all your might, but it's too late. Looking at Lionfire, whose bloodline power was wanton, Yi Qinfeng suddenly threw out the gigantic Fault Heavenly Sword. The gigantic Fault Heavenly Sword, which was filled with 350,000 gene of force, pierced through the cracked Earthgate shield like a hot knife through butter, forcibly breaking a hole in the Earthgate shield. In the next moment, the ancient cold black ice, purple spiritual thunder, and green spiritual fire surged out of Yi Qinfeng's body for the 3rd time, converging into a destructive force. It was like a divine punishment from the gods, bombarding the roaring Lionfire. Boom! 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 The destructive storm instantly swallowed Lionfire, and the space around his body was completely distorted. A large amount of distorting power was like twisting spiritual snakes, dancing wildly and destroying everything. The Earthgate shield had just been pierced through by the gigantic Fault Heavenly Sword, and its defensive power was greatly reduced. The surging destructive power penetrated through the hole in the Earthgate shield and bombarded Lionfire's body recklessly, blasting his body into a bloody mess. Lionfire's body was like a cannonball, directly smashing into the energy light barrier dozens of meters away, causing cracks to appear on the light barrier. He softly fell to the ground, losing his ability to fight. The King of Lionfire was really defeated, and he was thoroughly defeated. His 69 win streak has come to an end. Yes, this Yi Qinfeng's attack power is too terrifying. With the strength he displayed, he should be able to enter the 5th floor of the slaughter tower. Looking at the mangled Lionfire lying in a pool of blood, the audience in the stands were shocked by Yi Qinfeng's terrifying attack power. They looked at him with eyes full of reverence. Lionfire, the match is over. You can go to the afterlife. Yi Qinfeng stepped on the broken stage, walking step by step towards the dying Lionfire, and said with a cold, killing intent, "I am the King of Slaughter of the 3rd floor chosen by the King of Slaughter. If you kill me, the King of Slaughter will not forgive you." Facing death, Lionfire was terrified. He had no choice but to use the King of Slaughter to intimidate Yi Qinfeng and beg him to let him go. "No one can save you. With that, Yi Qinfeng's body blurred and appeared behind Lionfire at an extremely fast speed. The power of the ancient cold mystic ice surged into his body and froze him into an ice sculpture, not giving him a chance to self-destruct. Then, a devouring vortex appeared in Yi Qinfeng's palm. He pressed it into Lionfire's head and devoured his spiritual beast. Lionfire wailed in fear as his spiritual beast was devoured by Yi Qinfeng. His eyes were wide open, and he died with a grievance. For mobile users, please visit /Mpiatia, remember the URL. Sanwu Chinese Network. Chapter 296. Fourth level of the Tower of Slaughter. This Lionhua is truly worthy of being the third level king of the Tower of Slaughter, to actually have so much death chi in his body. When Lionhua died, a dense aura of death was released from his corpse. When Yi Qinfeng circulated the 8 slaughtering Azura art and devoured the aura of death released by Lionhua, the embryonic form of the third killing halo was faintly condensed. Can I go directly to the fourth level of the Tower of Slaughter now? Yi Qinfeng put away Lionhua's items and stood beside his corpse. Then, he looked at the tall woman in a red dress in the center of the spectators' stand and spoke in a mighty and tyrannical manner. Young Master Yi has killed the third level king of the Tower of Slaughter. Naturally you can directly enter the fourth level. As for young Master Ye's slaughter points, you can go directly to the back hall of the killing fields to collect them. The woman in the red dress smiled sweetly and said softly, not showing any expression because of Lionhua's death. Many thanks. Yi Qinfeng nodded. Under everyone's respectful gazes, he arrived at the back hall of the slaughterhouse. He collected his 16,500 slaughter points and left the slaughterhouse that was filled with the thick smell of blood. After obtaining the qualifications to enter the fourth level of the Tower of Slaughter, Yi Qinfeng did not immediately head to the fourth level. Instead, he returned to the high-grade training room he had rented and took out Lionhua's belongings, a dark gold spatial ring. Using the power of the God-Eater brain, he broke the restrictions on the ring and sent his soul power into it. Why does this Lionhua have so few slaughter points? Yi Qinfeng had originally thought that as the third-level king, Lionhua would have a large amount of slaughter points, but after checking, he found that Lionhua only had 28,000 slaughter points. This caused Yi Qinfeng to be slightly disappointed. As for the Earth's Gate shield, it had been destroyed by the fury of God's punishment, and was now worthless. Fortunately, there were still 6 more Earth's tools in Lionhua's spatial ring, a high-grade heavenly skill, the Lion King's Roar cultivation scroll, 10 slaughter stones, and a third-level heavenly beast's demonic core. Lion King's Roar. I can learn this sonic soul skill. There weren't many high-grade Soundwave soul skills in the Duohan continent, and they were quite expensive. Soundwave soul skills that could directly attack one's soul were enough to turn the tides of battle, so Yi Qinfeng had developed a strong interest in the Lion King's Roar. After devouring Lionhua's soul beast, Yi Qinfeng's body was filled with a large amount of pure soul power. In addition to the battle with Lionhua, the pill poison in his body was basically exhausted. He was preparing to enter seclusion for 1 or 2 days to break through to the 4th rank Mystic Beast Ancestor realm. Soul-devouring incantation, refine. Yi Qinfeng summoned the sword puppet and ordered it to protect him. He entered the void state and quickly refined Lionhua's soul beast to increase his soul power. If it was an ordinary person, they would only need to refine Lionhua's soul beast to break through from the 3rd rank to the 4th rank Mystic Beast Ancestor realm. However, Yi Qinfeng's cultivation foundation was too solid, and the soul power contained in his soul beast, the 2-headed Blood Dragon King, was comparable to a peak master of the 6th rank. Therefore, Yi Qinfeng needed an extremely large amount of energy to break through to the 4th rank Mystic Beast Ancestor realm. After refining Lionhua's soul beast, the soul power in his body only increased by 1/5. After refining Lionhua's soul beast, Yi Qinfeng immediately took out a 3-aperture heaven pill that exuded a strong medicinal fragrance and threw it into his mouth. Then, He operated the soul-devouring incantation to continue devouring and refining to increase his soul power. Just as Yi Chunfeng was in seclusion in the advanced cultivation room to break through to the 4th-rank mystic beast ancestor realm, the news of him killing the 3rd-floor king, Lion Hua, spread in the slaughter tower. Coupled with the sky-high reward of 300,000 slaughter points, Yi Chunfeng's name became even more resounding in the slaughter tower. Yi Chunfeng, you really didn't disappoint me. Once I come out of seclusion, I will definitely take your life. On the 4th floor of the slaughter tower, there was a terrifying courtyard that exuded a thick death aura. Half of Sun Lei's body was submerged in a pool of blood. When he learned of this news, he revealed a sinister smile. Although Yi Chunfeng's strength had far surpassed his expectations, after several days of seclusion, his strength had increased once more. He completely believed that with his strength, he could definitely kill Yi Chunfeng and obtain the 300,000 slaughter points reward. As expected, each of these 3 aperture heaven pills is worse than the last. After spending a day or so to refine the second 3 aperture heaven pill, Yi Chunfeng discovered that he had only absorbed 2/3 of the medicinal efficacy. The remaining 1/3 had been completely wasted, and the pill toxins in his body were even more than when he had taken the first pill. This made him give up on refining the third 3-aperture heaven pill and breaking through to the 4th-rank Mystic Beast Ancestor realm. The peak of the 3rd-rank Mystic Beast Ancestor realm. I wonder if I can kill Sun Lei with my current strength. Feeling his own strength, Yi Chunfeng didn't have the confidence to kill Sun Lei without transforming into his beast soul form. After all, a peerless genius like Sun Lei wasn't someone that Lion Hua or the Wu family elder could compare to. Moreover, besides Sun Lei, Yi Chunfeng believed that with the sky-high reward, there were many people in the slaughter tower who wanted his life. If he wanted to live, he could only think of ways to increase his strength. There are still 3 days before the auction on the 5th floor of the slaughter tower begins. I must enter the 5th floor within 3 days. Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and left the high-grade cultivation room. Through the transportation array in the massacre field, he entered the 4th floor of the massacre pagoda, where danger lurked everywhere. Treasure Pavilion. Arriving at the 4th floor of the slaughter tower, Yi Chunfeng went to the treasure pavilion as usual. He wanted to see if there were any treasures of heaven and earth that could attract him. Besides going to the treasure pavilion to buy things, Yi Chunfeng had also obtained an important piece of information from the jade slip that the green-clothed woman had given him. The treasure pavilions on the 4th floor and above would regularly hold private trade fairs. As long as one had 50,000 slaughter points, they could participate. As for Yi Chunfeng, through his slaughter and rewards, his slaughter points had reached 170,000. He had the qualifications to participate in this private trading fair. However, he knew that if he wanted to obtain anything from the 5th-level auction, 170,000 slaughter points were far from enough. He was prepared to sell off all the useless mid- and high-grade earth items on him and exchange them for slaughter points. When Yi Chunfeng entered the treasure pavilion on the 4th floor of the slaughter tower, he immediately attracted many gazes. Many people who had seen his portrait recognized him and whispered among themselves. However, the matter of Yi Chunfeng killing Lion Hua was too shocking. For a moment, no one dared to provoke him. I want to sell some useless mid- and high-grade earth items. Would you accept them? Yi Chunfeng ignored the complicated gazes around him and walked up to a tall man in white with a thick black beard. He seemed to be the person in charge of the treasure pavilion and asked in a low voice. Of course we accept them. How much does young master Yi want for them? The white-clothed man faintly smiled and directly called out Yi Chunfeng's surname. 135 mid-grade earth tools and 59 high-grade earth tools. Yi Chunfeng said slowly. Hearing the number of mid- and high-grade earth items that Yi Chunfeng wanted to sell, everyone in the treasure pavilion sucked in a cold breath. They didn't dare to imagine just how many top experts Yi Chunfeng had killed in order to obtain so many earth items. Young Master Yi, my Tower of Slaughter has a clear purchase price for mid-grade and high-grade earthly weapons. Each mid-grade earthly weapon costs 200 slaughter points, and each high-grade earthly weapon costs 1,000 slaughter points, the white-robed man said. Sold them all. Yi Chunfeng didn't expect the mid-grade earth items to be sold at such a low price. However, outside of the highest-grade earth items, he really didn't have any use for them. He directly sold all the mid and high-grade earth items he had on him for a total of 86,000 slaughter points. In addition to his own slaughter points, Yi Chunfeng now had more than 250,000 slaughter points. Right, boss? I wonder if there will be a private trade fair in the next few days? After selling a large number of medial grade and superior grade earth tools, Yi Chunfeng looked through the treasures in the treasure pavilion. However, he did not find anything of interest. Young Master Yi came at the right time. Tonight, our treasure pavilion is holding a private trade fair. If young Master Yi is interested, you can come directly. The white-clothed man revealed a faint smile and told Yi Chunfeng the time of the trade fair. Many thanks. After saying that, Yi Chunfeng didn't stay in the treasure pavilion for long. After leaving, he went to an inn and rented a high-grade training room to wait for the night to come. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support.